Hey guys, welcome. Nice to see you all. I'm going to bring Lee up next to me now on the screen. Say hello to Lee. We have got a kind of an impromptu show today, and it all started. It's a new idea for a show. It's called The Rabbit Hole, and it's like when you see something that's really interesting, it catches your attention, and you decide to either Google something about that subject or you just right click, open new tab. Maybe we can call it that, open new tab. Um, and then before you know it, you have 50 new tabs opened up, and you just spiral on and on. And it all started about Bald and Bankrupt. Got a YouTube channel. Absolutely love these channel. I found it really fascinating. I like the Soviet stuff. I found him a really interesting, fascinating guy. He goes to all these sort of backward places where you don't expect tourists to go as much, and he introduces you to the locals, and you get to see like a real world view of the Soviet states or post-Soviet, before the Iron Curtain stuff. So I decided to watch his last video. We'll bring up some links. You can see all the videos with us. We're going to do a watch along where he's banned from Russia, and there's an interview of the interrogation with the Russian authorities. It's all fascinating stuff. And then, yeah, we'll go on after that. But what I did next, I then searched something on Google, saw a video. So I saw a video first of YouTube Short calling him a coward, and then I decided to look into why. And then 50 tabs later, here we are. So to my left or to my right, we've got Lily.
Hello.
So Lily's here to talk about the subjects as well. Now,
Well,
this is for, hey, welcome Adelia. Adele, hi. Welcome to the broadcast. This is,
hello.
again, for entertainment purposes only. So we've gone down a rabbit hole. We're doing what anyone else would do when they find something of interest. And there's a wealth of information out there that is quite mind-blowing. Like, this guy's, he's technically what you would call, he's YouTube famous. He's a person of influence. If you've got over 2 million subscribers, you are influencing people massively with what you say and what you do and how you act. And so it's quite important, really, when he says stuff and does stuff, that he does it with integrity, and that his reasons behind what he does is, honest and truthful and moral. And he's making a lot of money, so people support that, unknowing what potentially is happening, what has happened, and what could happen. Again, this is entertainment purposes only. We're not saying this is true, but this is stuff that's come up, and it's quite mind-blowing. Hey, Tom, welcome to the show. Good to see you, bro.
Hello.
So, yeah, if you're unaware of Bald and Bankrupt is, I'm going to try and do some things with you guys. How you doing, Tom? How you doing, Lydia?
That doesn't sound good.
I'm going to share a screen. Hopefully nothing dodgy comes up. Cross fingers, nothing too bad. So,
well, it's a dodgy subject, so of course something dodgy is going to come up anyway.
very true. So this is Bald and Bankrupt's official page. Let's make sure it's displaying. Bring it on the screen. So yeah, so this is Bald and Bankrupt's official YouTube page. You see, he's got 3.
So this is a hypothetical conversation, right?
Yeah, he's got 3. This is real. He's got 3.63 million subscribers. He's a YouTuber from the UK, and he travels originally in India. That's where he started, and it progressed through into the Soviet states. And obviously, recently he was banned from Russia, and his next steps is unknown. But yeah, this is where all this went a bit whoa. So I'm going to go through some of his videos before all this happened, just so you can see what he's kind of like, and then how the rabbit hole just started. It's absolutely mind blowing. So yeah, have you seen Bald and Bankrupt before, guys? Have you seen him, Adelia? Have you seen him, Tom? You've seen him, Lee, haven't you?
All I've seen, I think, was one episode that you shared with me because you found it, and I kind of said to you back then, like, it's not my cup of tea. Like, I'm into art and architecture and everything, like the old Soviet stuff or whatever. Like, architecture and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean the way that stuff looks in books or whatever, but the way that he goes and just the way that he talks and stuff. But like again, like that, I thought it might be me, but like obviously it turns out that possibly not. So yeah.
Well,
no, not that much.
if you look at some of his videos, like
I'm about to though.
I looked at some of his earnings and what he earns, like particularly on his videos, and he's earning over £100,000 a year on average through YouTube alone. He's also got a book written on Amazon. Now he uses multiple alias names, which is normally a first warning sign, I think. Like you might have a pseudonym if you're a writer, but he's got a lot of different names. Throughout looking into this, you actually discover that he uses at least 7 different names for different things. So
professionally, you mean, as into
yeah. So he's born on
money.
Bankrupt on YouTube, which he's most famous for. He's also got 3 different names in the pickup artist world, which is what they're saying. He's also got a author name, like a pseudonym for writing a book, which was Arthur Winchester. And it's really weird because the Winchester is where his court case was held as well. And his real name is Ben Rich. But he also was officially, before that, Ben Rich Swift. But after the court cases, he dropped the Swift and the bankruptcy he had in England and became Ben Rich. But he uses Born and Bankrupt and Arthur Winchester. And Arthur Winchester also has the exact same stories as the pickup artist Vortek. But we'll go into this a bit further on. We'll watch the videos and we'll show it all.
So this is a forewarning before diving down this rabbit hole, right?
Yes. Yes. So how it started was, I'm going to show you some videos of what he's just like normally. There's a few little things that maybe raised my eyebrow a few times with him, but I like the Soviet stuff, and he's the only person I really saw going to the real Soviet. I went to Kiev and Chernobyl myself, and I've not met many people that have actually gone to sort of the darker places, I guess, or the lesser known places. And he was doing that, and I found it quite interesting. And I believed it was for historical and them sort of reasons. But what people were saying, and we'll see, there's other reasons and motives behind this. So you saw his YouTube channel, very popular. Some videos getting over 10 million views, and we know that 10 million to 11 million views, you're looking at about £25,000 to £30,000 a video for them sort of videos. Madness. Yeah, some big money. So it's definitely supported his career to travel, the YouTube. So what we'll do, we'll go to some videos and we'll show you what exactly he is doing. I'm still learning how to use all this software, guys, so be patient with me. Be patient. So this is his final video. I'm going to share now. This is him talking about why his journey is over. And let me know if you can hear the audio as well.
Oh yeah, are we both clear? That's probably a good thing to check.
Say again, Lee.
Oh no, it started, has it?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. I said, yeah, it's a good thing to check before you start. No.
Oh, I thought you were joking about check as in Soviet. Oh, right, check. Yeah, I should have checked, but it was working earlier. Adele says
no.
No. I don't know what she's saying no to, but it could have been. Was it when I asked you if you knew who he was? That was quite a long time ago. Maybe there's a delay.
Of this journey, a few days' travel from here on Russia's rugged eastern coast is a town called Sovietsky Gavan, or Soviet Port, which I think would be a fitting end to our mammoth journey. Join me. Well, before we leave old windy Blagoveshchensk, I want to show you an interesting geographical feature, and that is this. the waters of the Amur River, which since 1858 has been the border between Russia and China. And
So what's your first take on him, Lee?
My first take on him.
Yeah. Do you think he's likable? Do you think he's...
Again, like, before you even mention this, like, and to be honest, when you mentioned it, I thought, oh, yeah, you thought about it, but like, wow. Yeah, it's definitely a rabbit hole for you. Yeah, I mean, no offense to the guy. I mean, because again, like, true or not, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff against anyone, really, if you think about it. But again, like, me personally, I don't know. There's something about the way he speaks that it's not real. It's it feels like a facade, like he's evading something. But again, like that's just the way it feels, especially when he talks to people. You know. But yeah, I don't know what to say other than that, really, without seeming like I'm trying to be offensive. I'm not. He comes across like he's a bit slimy.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, or sleazy.
He's a character facade.
But and
when you look at some of the
for the camera, it could,
when you look at
like
the type of video that he makes as well, like there's a lot of travel bloggers that go out there and they make really, really beautiful travel blogs. His is very, it's mobile phone. Anyone can do it. He literally holds the camera to his face, talks, and when he goes to places, he's not doing any sort of cut shots. He literally just holds it to their faces and talks. A lot of people are saying it's not because he doesn't want to be the cameraman sort of thing, that sort of stuff. He just wants to get to the end goal, earn his money so he can, and we'll go into that bit while I'm not saying it yet because I'm not trying to influence or I just want you to make your own minds up with what you see and what you read. And I'm going to share all the links to everything we put on here so you can then do your own rabbit hole stuff. And it was an awkward one with doing it. It was kind of like, this is a real person. People talking about real people and stuff. You are saying stuff about their real lives. And I know we're not big YouTubers or anything like that, so we're not got a huge influence over things. But if many people talk about it, this guy could be very genuine. It could not, but it could be. So we have to be careful with what we say. So we're not trying to influence, but when this amount of information comes out, it is definitely worth a discussion to find, to talk about it and get it out, because some of the stuff isn't good. And you don't really want to support someone without knowing what it's really about, I guess. And a lot of people will be watching this going, that's fantastic what you're doing, going to them places and helping people. But are you helping people, or are you just doing other stuff? What is your intentions? Was it to help Soviet Russia? Because as soon as the war started, you kind of disappeared. As a video I'll show you after, like the war started, and him and his friend, who is another pickup artist guru that tried to make a business teaching guys how to sleep with women in the Soviet. As soon as the sirens went, they legged it to the trains and took 2 available spaces for genuine people that needed to escape. And if you're 2 men that have gone to that country and you make your money, and your good money as well, better than most people in the world will ever earn, through that country, and you invest into it by sleeping with their women, boastfully, and making content about them, spreading their photos and their lives across the world, I can see why this one guy has made a video saying you're a coward, because as soon as the war started, you didn't give a shit about any of those women or any of the people in that country. You legged it and took 2 available spaces that could have gone to children or people in need, and you took them, you and your coward friend. So that's FTP. I forgot his name now. I've got his channel up here as well. The guy, his friend, who was a pickup artist as well. So I do understand that point. It's not everyone's war, I get it. But if you're in that country and you're making your living through these people, and you're then making videos, earning a lot of money because you're in that country during that time and milking it, because when you're in Ukraine and that started, he was still there. He was making good money for that war video stuff. You know, it does make you think, well, how much did you really love the country and the people then? If that was meant to be your future home, or you know, it's a big moral question there about his purity of who he is.
Or his tensions, you mean?
Intentions, yeah. Because you're trying to show everyone that the Russian-Ukrainian people are amazing people and they're beautiful and you want to be there all the time. But you don't really, do you?
Well, if he legged it, I mean, and it with that, like, you can't judge someone for running away from a war, but in such a case, that it does raise questions.
It does, like, I totally get it. Yeah, it's terrible, it's scary. But this was the place where they made all their money from, you know. These places which they said were amazing, perfect, and all that stuff. One guy bought a house in there, and they were there quite happily milking. When I say like manipulating people there for their benefit, like the women, the pickup artists, they're there for one thing, to get as many women in bed as they can, poor Ukrainian women, and sleep with them. And then the second that noise went off, those women did not exist to them. Even if them women needed to survive and get last train out, they didn't care about that. All they cared about was them two getting back out, because they're only there for one thing, and that was to sleep with many women and make money on YouTube secretly behind it all. So yeah, it's a very moral thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a bath after this.
It's
A
very
really,
creepy.
really, really long hot bath.
Just very cringy in it, and
Must be clean. Must get clean.
there's a video here he done. This is one of his first videos in India. Let's see if we can share this one. Actually, we don't need to see all the.
That is China. Over there,
This is him.
called Yekaterina. Katya,
This is
привет.
him when he leaves
I know she's watching.
Russia.
She said,
Hey, entrepreneur.
Adverts.
Did you know you don't need to manage your accounts? Right.
Clearly, you're
Benjamin,
not
would
using
you mind
ad blocker.
accompanying me to the police station? We want to clear up a
need
few
one, eh?
things. I was like, bloody hell, what choice have I got? Let's go. I was thrown in a Russian prison for a few days and then sent to court to defend myself against the charge, where I was found guilty. The punishment, one of the punishments, is that I'm being kicked out of Russia with immediate effect. Banned from coming back. I'm now going to head to the border. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more on the way.
I've put links to that video so you can watch the rest of it. But when he was talking about it, when I watched that video, I hadn't gone down the rabbit hole yet. And I was like, bloody hell, why have Russia done that? I thought, he's probably the only guy that's sort of defending Russian people and speaking nice about them, which he always did. He always did. But they've banned him for life. But they've got the actual interview footage of him being interviewed and questioned by the Russians, and it's on YouTube as well, so we'll show that as well. And you can hear how very good he is at manipulating or answering. He didn't stick to his beliefs, and I know it's awkward. Like, you're in Russia, you're being questioned. You're not going to say what you truly believe, because then you're going to go to prison, aren't you? Or something's going to happen to you. So he tells them what they want to hear. And it upset a lot of Ukrainian people as well. There's a YouTube video from Ukrainians saying, did he use us and sell us short? Because he supported Russia in that interview completely. He was like completely agreeing and understanding that they were doing the special operations and all that stuff. And he explained why he did what he did, and it was to earn more money and to manipulate the YouTube algorithms. That's the only reason why he spoke bad about the president, nothing else. So it's really interesting, this interview. You see a different side. I get why he was doing it. Completely. I mean, if you're being interviewed by the Russian government, it's probably terrifying, really. And you've been put in a cell for 1 to 2 days. It's scary, isn't it?
For some people, just being spoken to in a harsh tone is scary. For others, I don't know, like the other extreme, whatever that might be. I dread to think what those sort of people are like. But yeah, it's again, I agree with what you just said. Like you can easily be manipulated in that situation to save your own skin. But yeah, I mean, there is no but to it. There is no but. Like
No.
unless you're willing to be a martyr,
Yeah.
die for a cause, fair enough, But everybody, like you're in that situation. You want to survive. You want to live. It's built in.
So you say the right things.
Yeah. Well, you try to. At least you're going to.
Yeah.
And deal with the consequences later.
Yeah. Well, Delia says you'd be in prison straight away, and we know that through a few Russian friends, didn't we? What they were doing to people like who spoke out. So,
I mean, how things can go badly here with protests. That alone in the country that, I mean, well, he seemed to know a lot about the country, so I guess he would know a lot about the laws. But I wouldn't risk doing anything. I mean, I'm polite anyway, but like I wouldn't risk doing anything dodgy, let alone. Yeah. Nah. So yeah, that's a hard one, really. When you're being, I totally agree. It's a hard one when you're being interrogated by any government body, let alone one that has such a bad mark to its name. Yeah. Publicly, or at least in the Western world.
No, I agree. So we'll go into these videos after these other ones, but we're just going to carry on with the background of how he started and stuff. So he started in India. That was his first lot of videos. So we'll play a couple bits of these when he was in India.
Asking me for 200. Bus, bhai sahab, bus. मेरे पास अरे यार भाई साहब मेरे पास 200 नहीं है मेरी बात सुनो मेरे पास नहीं है 200 रुपए मेरे पास नहीं है सॉरी भाई साहब but no बस ठीक है क्या हुआ अब क्यों मेरे साथ क्यों अरे यार भाई मेरे पास नहीं है 100 रुपए देना Wow, this guy is determined to get something out of me. I mean, it's a little bit weird that he's with me this long. I was thinking he would disappear after 2 minutes. भाई मेरे पास सुनो क्यों आप मेरे साथ क्यों मेरे पास मनी नहीं है रुपी नहीं है मेरे पास अरे नहीं है क्या हुआ 100 रुपए अरे क्या 100 रुपए
Oh, he's determined, isn't he?
अरे यार क्या 100 रुपए भाई
Why? There's got to be a reason. Even the hawkers that we knew before, they weren't that determined.
No.
मेरे पास नहीं है 100 रुपए नहीं है मेरे पास
Yes,
अरे
you do.
यार ये मेरा business है यार ये आपका I'm saying I've not got money and he's saying yes you have, it's in your pocket. This guy is determined. This guy is so determined. Is he behind me? Is he still here? He's still here with me.
Sir, money.
Why are you following me? Hey, क्यों? आप मेरे साथ.
Sir,
क्यों? I'm going to call this guy Mr. 100 rupees.
100 रुपए देना 100 रुपए
100 रुपए 100 रुपए.
So, as you saw, he started off in India. He was going around all the poor places in India. The next few videos will show you a lot more. Apparently, he lived in India for quite a few years as well. He owned a guest house as well. That's how he got started, and he grew from the India sort of videos, and he progressed into Russia and Ukraine and Belarus. Belarus was a big one as well. And he also went to Bolivia as well, I think. Weirdly enough, all the poor nations. This is a video next of him meeting a Belarusian girl. Now, from experience, we know that he's a bit of a player. You can see that he's very confident in himself. But these women also the same. Some of these women also the same. So I know he's manipulating potentially some women, but I think some of these women also know exactly what they're doing with him as well. So it's good to see both sides of it. This is a woman that takes him out for lunch. Well, he takes her out for lunch.
I'm hungry.
Depends what problem you have.
I have many problems, but the
Okay.
most important one, I'm too hungry.
Oh, you want to eat some food?
Yes.
Are you paying?
No,
Oh.
I need someone to pay for me.
Ah, okay. You don't have any money. All right
Yes, I'm
then.
from Belarus.
Well, there's a restaurant just over here.
yeah,
It's
it
called
looks nice.
Vasilki. What do you reckon? Should we try it?
Yes, typical Belarusian restaurant. We can find something tasty and you can
Eat.
pay for.
All right then. That sounds like an offer I can't refuse. Let's go and try some traditional Belarusian food here in sunny Minsk.
Sunny, very sunny today.
Let's do it. Wow, I'm so excited to try some stuff. So we seem to have here like a traditional menu of different Belarusian foods and stuff.
Yes.
Some of the
most
things I
different.
have tried before and some of the things not. But you know what I want you to do? I want you to order for me something that like Belarusian people eat that I'm not going to
Bestsellers.
find in England. Okay, bestsellers.
Bestsellers in
Okay,
Belarus.
okay, fair enough. Traditional Belarusian food.
Okay, okay.
So I'm excited to try these things.
What I like is that you're not on a diet.
I'm
Because-
definitely not on a diet. Are you on a diet?
So, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay. Okay. Well, women need to take care of their figure.
Yes. So you will eat all.
Yeah. He's very smooth. I do admit that. Like, he's very confident in his approach with everyone, be it male or female. There's a technique that in like the pickup world is where you have to you never approach the girl you want at first. You have to sort of win over the other people, so challenge them. So they say that if there's a group of girls and guys, you would go and speak to the guys and win them over, which shows like a high value, and then you go to the girl that you're targeting. And he does this in Russia, they were saying. So he'll see the girls that he's interested in, but he'll go to the guys first, and he will talk to the guys, win them over, get them laughing and joking, and show photos of him with like a nice car, bit of money and stuff. And then that information from the guys is in discussion, filters down to the girls he's targeting. So he doesn't even speak to the girls yet. He also does it with the babushkas, the older ladies, and the information filters down to the girls. And that's how he then gets his way into targeting the females that he's after. This is what they're saying in the forums and videos. It's one of his techniques, and he actually writes about this technique himself in the Pickup Artist forum, which I'll show you the links to after. He talks about this technique of engaging with the men who would normally be the challengers, the threats. If you win them over, you're already broken into the circle far easier. And it also shows like confidence, alpha male sort of thing, because you've gone straight to the men rather than the females. But yeah, this technique was written in the forums, how he did this to get in with the ladies. And the ladies, or he waits at bus stops in very poor areas. And the quote literally was, "I wait at the bus stop like a, what was it? Like a mass murderer or what was it? I'll get it after. I've got the quote still. Like a stalker murderer. That's where I hang around at the bus stops.
Psychopath, sociopath.
Something like that. Yeah, it was something like That was one of his quotes. So
Right.
I'm going to close
Okay.
down the female. They just eat food. So the ones we want to see. So this is the first video I'll share. This is the one that opened up the tabs and the rabbit hole. After watching these videos, I always had a bit of a question about him and his intentions. I thought he was a bit of a playboy. Playboy, he's 50 years old, but I thought he was a bit of a player. But there's nothing wrong with being a guy that is single, traveling, meeting people. If that's your intention, and people are okay with that. It's again everything he's doing. It's all on the thin line. Apart from the first thing, which sounds a bit gang rapey, which he got away with. We'll show that after on the video.
Oh, great! I can't wait.
Yeah, this is the first video where someone calls him out on his choices, him and his mate, for not staying in Ukraine and taking the spare seats of women and children that needed them on the last train. He took their seats. So on the Titanic, he would not have been helping anyone. So this is... The video is called Bald and Bankrupt as a Coward.
Man, he was all into it, man. Solo along the Ukrainian-Russian border one day before invasion. Okay, he was all into it. He's going over there. This guy, I used to watch his channel for a couple of years now, and he would go all over Europe, all over into Russian areas, in the Ukraine, and then down around that whole area. Who knows who's funding him? If it's just YouTube, or if he's sitting there, you know, really getting information and just that's his cover story or whatever. This motherfucker, after say it's not, and he really is just out there. He really is just out there.
Two parts of this nation.
Looking at things, right?
In the morning.
Okay. Let's say that that's what's going on. He is just a traveler and stuff. These people have invited them into his home. He's drank their wine. He's drank their beer. He's ate their food. He's, you know, slept with their women. They've treated him like you would any guest or host. That was on them, and that was at that time. But now that they need help, this motherfucking coward split as fast as he could out of there with the Japanese guy.
Do you know who has the best rates?
Him and the Japanese guy split out of there. They would have gave him a gun. They'd have gave him a gun, food, clothes, an assignment. They would have helped him and thanked him. Him and this guy right here. What they did was just took up two people's spots on the trains to flee. He is a coward. I'll get it down to the train station.
You see that guy there, Lee?
The one next
With
to
him.
him.
Yeah. He's the one. His name is Johnny FD. Is Johnny FD? Yeah, Johnny FD. So he is... So a lot of them you can't always... You can't guarantee that Bald and Bankrupt is the guy in the pickup world teaching how to manipulate vulnerable women. But it pretty much is in the way it sounds. All the dots connect. But the other guy, he's publicly on videos as a pickup artist coach, and he tried making his own company, teaching guys how to manipulate women into bed. So pickup artist world. There's 4 guys actually. These 2 and 2 others that all hang out together in Ukraine. So they're all making their own individual content for YouTube. In a few videos, you hear some of the friends in the background going, hot girls, hot girls. And then they would all switch, getting ready for their next manipulation. So this is where the ethical thing is. Like, I know we did it as jokes, like, pretty girl. But this is where...
No, you can appreciate beauty. I mean, try and keep it to yourself unless it's, you know, like typical catcalling from builders. That is the equivalent of that. It's like it's not nice in a sense. Like it you know, all right, love, you know, it's like if you turn around to the woman that you thought was beautiful and you say, "I'm sorry, like for staring, but I just find you very attractive," something like that. Even then, that could be a bit forward, you know, unless you've introduced yourself or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. But then again, different cultures have different things, you know.
Yeah. So
I'm not
We'll see that in the-
defending that he's or that sort of behavior. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it depends where you're from, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see that in some of the forum posts when he talks about gaming Indian women and then gaming other country women. He says India's a lot harder to game, as in game. I mean, just like sleep with women randomly, just manipulate them into bed. Right, so let me just finish off this last bit of this video.
Both of them. This guy just bought an apartment there for $80,000 was his last video. Oh, he loves Ukraine so much,
Johnny
you
FD.
fucking cowards. You ran on those people. How can you run? Look, this is an old guy. Yeah, we're so happy, the women. Yeah. Now check this out. Let's get it down to here. These poor people are trying to get in. This motherfucker is a coward, dude. He is a fucking coward. You stay and fight. What the hell good is it to live the rest of your life knowing you fled those poor people? This fucking guy. You fucking coward. I hope the next time you go back there when it's over, they arrest you as a traitor, treasonous coward. You're a worthless piece of shit.
He doesn't hold back. Doesn't hold back at all. So what do you think so far? So that was the video that got me looking in more into him as a person, like his choices. Because when I watched that video originally, I'll be honest, that didn't actually enter my head, that question. My brain just thought people were escaping. My brain didn't really think on the ethical, moral aspects of it all. It just thought, well, these are people just escaping. But actually, him and that Johnny FD that love Ukrainians with all their heart and bought property and sleep with their women and all that stuff constantly, and they're there to manipulate that situation. That's the biggest part of it that then got me thinking more. Fled and took children's and women's spaces. So how much love did they have for these people in that location? And none.
Well,
Because while the war's going on and everyone's fighting, they probably can't go around fucking everyone as much. It's a bit harder. So now,
to be blunt, yeah.
So now they get out, they can still make content about all that situation, earn another 20, 30 grand for the month, and now they've got a new town to target. That's how that feels now. Yeah, that's my opinion. It's not saying it's fact, but it's how it feels now when you hear the other side of it and you see the videos. You think, well, actually, yeah, it could be that situation. It's quite an eye changer because I really, I was always talking about your channel.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, like the idea of it. It's when you, it's like, I don't know, actually, what's an analogy for it? It's like everything's squeaky clean, it's nice, and then someone says, "Oh, did you know he, I don't know, took a shit on that man's dinner?"
So
Really?
something close enough to reality that makes you go, "Wait,
Yeah.
yeah."
And suddenly, it's just like everything changes, and it's like I'm not looking at you as the same now. I thought you was a bit of a Jack the lad, play to the camera, go to these places because he done voiceovers about the history part of it. So I thought he has got an interest in it. Maybe he still has. But when it's only when I saw the forum posts of the guy, a pseudonym Vortex, what it was, what his 10-year plan was. And when you look at his 10-year plan, he achieved it all. He achieved it all. by 2022. That was his 10-year plan, and it was a place in the Soviet, which he got, to be working completely remotely on the internet, which he did, to bang hot Ukrainian and Soviet women, 10s, at least 2, he said. I think he's done that now. To write a book and release it. Well, he did that as Arthur Winchester. And the story, the biggest part of it all, which really is scary, was Arthur Winchester. The story that he writes is almost word for word the same as the blog posts of the real guy talking about the situation that happened. Now, that could be someone that just gone to the forum and took this guy's stories and made it into a book. But it might not be. But we'll see that now in the next video. This is where it gets a bit more into it. This is the video called Dirty Secrets. So after I saw that coward video, I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. I looked at this video, and I then went on Google and started searching Borden Bankrupt scam, Borden Bankrupt conspiracies, Borden Bankrupt exposed, and things like that, truths. And you start seeing more and more. But then you get the Reddit forums and groups, and there's actually a Reddit forum set up purely on Borden Bankrupt, and it's literally people going out searching for all the real information. So they found like his real name, his birth date, the business that he said he had, but he was bullshitting about, another business that he did have went bankrupt, and they just found all this information, and they just keep posting it out, build up this wealth of knowledge, a bit like the Jimmy Savile thing, how that all started. As scary as that is. In fact, this guy actually refers him to Jimmy Savile at one point.
No.
Yeah.
It just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a quote to do with a goal to bang underage. 2 underage on the bus.
Like the video you sent me, it got to a point that it was like that, and I like hearing something like that, and I switched it off. I was like, okay.
So this is where it gets a bit awkward. Like, it's worth talking about because it's quite a serious subject, and if it's a mainstream person and it is true, then YouTube should absolutely swipe everything off. But if it's not true, you could damage someone's thingy, life.
Yeah, serious.
It's a really awkward
and
line, but
it changes people's opinion of you regardless if it's true or not.
Yeah.
As soon as someone says something like that against anyone, everybody's looking at them, waiting for them to do something to confirm it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they go, oh yeah, I knew it, I always knew it, or oh my god, really? Like there's not something I particularly would like to hear a lot of or talk about a lot in a short space of time. But yeah, like a lot of things, when a serious accusation or something is said against someone, it's worth taking note.
Absolutely. It's weird. You think of like all the stuff that come out about, for instance, that Savile link, and it was just passed over, laughed off. A lot of people saying, oh, he's just a weird guy, he's eccentric, and it took over, 30, 40 years for all the evidence to be put together and finally come out, years after he actually died. I'm not saying this is the same thing. It's such an awkward thing because I'd hate to be this person now doing this sort of YouTube thing and then this sort of stuff came out about me. Obviously it'd be lies if it was about me, but
that's the thing, like an innocent person, as awkward and as much as they shouldn't have to defend themselves, they would turn around and say, okay, look, do as deep dive as you want, I've got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
You know, of course they're going to act awkward because it's an awkward thing to be said against you regardless. But, you know, there won't be any misleading. There won't be any, it's like, okay, I don't really want to talk about that. But seen as, you know, it could clear me of something worse than blah. You know, everyone's got a kink. But, yeah, Yeah, that's not a kink. That's something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
it's such an awkward subject, isn't it? Like
it is. I mean, because it is one of those things that get my hackles up. You know, that sort of subject. So
it's
and
just
as
the fact
open
of
to talk.
Because all this has come out now, it's like. Do
That's the thing. You have to take it in small doses. Otherwise, you're just going to get.
Now? Do I watch it? Because every time we watch it, we're pushing your channel up more, your earnings up more, which means you can then travel freely anywhere in the world more and do the things that you want to be doing. And it's the balance. It's like, well, right, so you're a guy that wants to go out and meet lots of women and bang them. Is that wrong?
Technically, no, because you're saying women.
Right. So
But
the thin line obviously is the other things they mentioned, which I don't personally think is the case. What about the manipulation of women into bed using your white man, British status and money?
No. Only form of manipulation that I agree with is positive manipulation, which is like the only way that I can sort of explain that is like your parents getting you up to go to school in the morning, that sort of thing. You know, they coax you into doing something. Get up or blah, you know. No, I don't know, no PlayStation for you or no Xbox for you or no going out and seeing your friends or whatever it is that kids do these days. No phone, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That is manipulation. You know, but it's positive manipulation. It's for your benefit. It's not. They're not gaining anything out of it.
No,
you are. If anything, you're gonna turn around to them and go, "Fuck off, mum. Fuck off, dad. You don't hurt me." Yeah, if you're a typical teenager and then storm out, you know they're gonna get the brunt of it. It's not doing them any favors.
No,
but that is manipulation. If you think about it, really, word wise, of you know, factual wise, it is a form of manipulation, but it's positive.
Yeah,
that isn't. And really, that's the only real time that people use the word manipulation, don't they? When somebody's doing something to, it's not even get something out of someone; it's getting something out of someone out of their benefit. So you're taking something away from them for you, you know, or for them, whatever, you know. So no. I mean, if you've got it, flaunt it. You're gonna make people jealous, but you know, if you got it, flaunt it, whatever. But nah. If you're saying, "Oh, you know, I've got all this money and everything," which is not really true, it's sort of like half truths. Do you know what I mean? Like it's true because in a country where your money is 10 times the value to theirs, you are rich.
Yeah.
But that's not true. That's not what what he's saying is not the same thing. So yeah, it's all of that sort of stuff makes you question what sort of person they are. So they could be completely innocent of all of those sort of thoughts and things, but it does make you go, It
is kind of borderline con man.
Let me get my microscope.
When you see like the Tinder swindler and all these other con men,
so you're really interested in those sort of things, aren't you?
It has got that vibe to it. Yeah. I've always been interested in, weirdly enough, I'm interested in sort of deception, manipulation.
In a sense of psychology, you mean?
Yeah, because it all started from magic. It was making people believe the impossible existed. So when I first did magic, I could make people believe that, for one, magic existed. In George Green's, if you remember, when I used to do the card tricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people generally believed magic for that moment existed. And there was a guy called Jason and a couple of people that truly believed that I had supernatural powers. They generally believed it. Honestly, Jason truly believed.
No, I believe you.
Um,
People believed that I had magical powers from a weird old ash trick, a cigarette.
Right, yeah. That was the ash trick, yeah.
You know, that one, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
so-
done that a few times. My uncle done it to me, and it
It's-
fooled me when I was a kid.
It's a
It's
fantastic
great.
trick. That's
But that's the whole point of
the old psychology
magic,
of it,
is
like
it?
how
Or tricks, it's illusion.
how you can manipulate situations to your benefit, but also like you can literally change someone's belief system instantly. Like if you're convincing enough, you literally could take someone who says, "Nah, I don't believe in magic. It's all shit." Yeah, okay. You do something, they're like, "What?" There's one girl, two
Yeah.
girls actually, Jodie and Abigail, and I'm sure if I could ever find them and if they remembered, they truly believed that I could fly. So when I used to do levitation, then I would faint afterwards.
It's so hard for you as well, being so like. Not only are you tall, but you're thin as well, so it kind of plays against you. So
I used to pretend to faint afterwards as well. Do you remember this?
it took so much energy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they used to come to me and say, "Are you okay? You all right?" Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I said, it just drains me. They're like, "Oh no, of course it would, of course it would." And it's that kind of level of manipulation that these pickup artists have. I haven't got the pickup artist game, but with magic, it kind of worked with me because I was a little bit weird and awkward. Magic suited me better. I know you can be confident and flirty with magic, but mine was more the sort of strange, weird, whoa sort of tricks I used to do, rather than because I didn't know how to flirt. I probably could have, if I knew how to flirt, I could have done it in that aspect and probably got dates out of it. But I didn't know how to do that. All I knew was how to shock or make people go, "Whoa," and sort of
Make
freak them
people
out a bit.
think.
Yeah, make him think. So it gives me that sort of vibe. That's the kind of vibe it gives me, but on a pickup artist scale, that he can manipulate people and with words and scenarios, and he creates this portfolio of this life, which isn't there. But when you're in India or certain places, white British, technically you're royalty, ain't you? In some ways, you have a lot of power. So one of my friends from Bangladesh has said to me that if I go over with him to help him on these ideas he's got, instantly we become more valuable because I'm just standing there as a white Britishman.
Right. It's that exotic twang to the mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
It works vice versa, doesn't it?
Probably like in Brazil as well. Like they probably thought we was, I don't know, really, really rich. And if we had English
Well, they
money,
did a few times.
Yeah, if we had English money,
And they got
was living
close
in
enough,
Brazil,
and they were like, "Oh, walk across the road, walk away
Yeah.
from them." They got nothing. They're just gringos.
yeah. But if we had English money
Broke.
and lived there, but still got English money, yeah, we would be well comfortable.
Well,
But we are the
yeah.
equivalent of if we was over there, we would just be the same as them, but or less, like the working class. Like there's no difference. It only works in our advantage is if we was living there and still earning English money. Then we'd be laughing because I'd be in that restaurant every day getting them steaks and stuff. Have good steaks as well.
God, what was it 8 days out of 14? Anyway, another time.
Oh man, they were good, weren't they? Do you miss them?
I do miss the food. I do miss the food.
It was really good food, wasn't it? Ford? It was really good food, wasn't it?
Ford?
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, stop making me think about it.
Oh, that's
You
good
evil
food.
man.
Such good food. Right, guys, we're going to take a couple minutes interlude and we will be back. I think Tom went. I think he saw us talking, was bored instantly and went. Is Adelia still here? We've got one person here. Who's with us while we take this break and then we'll come back. And what are your views, guys, on Mr. Bald and Bankrupt so far? Does any of it make sense? Because we've not got to the main bit now. We've just hit the beginning of the rabbit hole. So we're sort of standing over the rabbit hole.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, we've not gone into it yet.
How deep did you go, Don?
We went deep. That's what she said. Adelia's still here. Adelia, you are the one. You are the one. You're awesome.
Oh, dear.
Thank you for staying with us. Are you falling asleep yet? Right, we're going to take a little interlude. I don't know if I can do this. Let's work out if I can do this. Can I do an interlude?
That's what I've been thinking to myself this whole time. Can I do this?
Do you want a 1 minute interlude, Lee? Or is that enough?
Would you need a wee wee? Go for a wee wee.
I thought for a wee wee.
A wee wee wee.
Yeah. We will be back in 1 minute. I'll just see if I've got a be right back section thing actually. Just trying to see. I've got going live. That's not the same, is it? I want be right back.
You know what you need?
Thanks for watching.
I'm gonna do you a banner actually. If you can put up your own banner, it's gonna make you one.
Yeah, I think you can put your own banners and stuff. I got thanks for watching.
Stickman, buy a toilet. That was very short, Donny. I'm not sure you.
Hey. You know what I realized?
What did you
I
realize?
realized 1 minute ain't long enough to go for a wee wee and wash your hands. It ain't long enough. You need at least 2 minutes. Yeah.
So you didn't even shake.
I'd little shake.
Well,
I'm wearing shorts, so it's drifting down my legs.
Okay.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh.
Adele
And that is-
11221.
That is
Smiley
not
face.
going to be the worst thing that I've heard all evening.
Just want to be a big shout out to Adele for sitting with us for this entire episode so far.
Yeah, over an hour.
An hour, and you've been sitting with us. How do you do it? She says she thinks it's interesting. Well, it says I've got no listeners now, apparently. On top of the thing. I know she's here. She's
Well.
got TH. I don't know what that means. Let's bring it up. TH. There we go. For I didn't notice. You didn't notice what? Oh, I'm confused
Now,
now.
probably the time that went by.
1 hour and 4 minutes currently. Yes. Yes. And now we're just about to start. So,
Well, well, what you
welcome
said,
to the
yeah.
broadcast, guys, and thank you for joining. No, I'm joking. But we are just about to start the main bit now. So we've looked over things, made little bits of opinions about certain things, back and forth about his start, his ending, who he is, kind of touching on little nuggets, but we've not really actually gone down the hole. We've just discovered the hole, and we're like, that's a big hole. Should we go down it? And Lee's like giggly, and I'm like, man, wrong kind of show for that kind of talk. We're trying to be ethical.
Echo.
So Adele's saying, yes, start. She loves the nuggets. Oh, yes, chicken nuggets. I will buy you some chicken nuggets one day.
Oh,
Adele is baby Viley.
hello.
I will bring you some nuggets one day. I actually won, what was it? Two different... I can't even talk. I won 2 different chicken nuggets. Does that make sense? I won chicken nuggets twice. That makes more sense. I won chicken nuggets twice at McDonald's. So I was going to keep one and claim it and give it to Adele, but Adelia. But I actually ate them.
That might have taken a while, though.
Yeah. I
Would've
ended up
been
eating them. So
very cold.
we're still trying to arrange a catch up, a coffee or something. But I ended up eating both my 3 nuggets. I've actually got, I know it's off subject, but I've got 5 different free meals to claim yet. I've got a free apple pie, a free bacon roll, a free Big Mac, 3 chicken nuggets, and a free cheeseburger. I've got 5 free meals yet to claim still.
Dinner's on you, then.
Oh yeah. I might claim.
What I'm talking about? That's just your starters.
Yeah. Why is my Streamlabs now kicking in, telling me to request songs? Guys, don't request songs. This is not a song one.
That is a very strange. That is strange.
We must have hit a certain amount of comments, and my robot is triggered because I've not set it up not to talk on this one. It's still thinking I'm on the other one talking. Adele wanted just 2. You wanted just 2. You get 6 nuggets, so I had 12. So I could have gave you 2. Maybe.
I'm surprised to hear you say it even could have.
Yeah.
That even the thought of you giving food is enough to induce cardiac arrest. What?
Yes.
Dottie said what?
Yeah, I'll take it back.
He did what?
I'll take it back.
He did what?
I got 0 from you. Yes, but you got.
You'd be lucky to even get that.
Yeah, you got the thought of 2. You got the idea that it could have been 2.
That's more than anyone's ever got off of you when it comes to food.
I shared food with you in Brazil.
No. We ate food off of it. That's because the portion's worth for 2 people, Don.
Yeah, I was stuffed as well. I shared. You speak like I'm a greedy guts.
I know that. No. All I'm saying is that you don't share off of your plate.
I thought I shared the other day. Didn't I share something? And you was like, really? I was like, yeah. I can't remember now.
Say the other day, the last time you see me in the flesh was
I've never seen you in the flesh.
Rio. That's not what I mean.
That B-Day thing was quite funny as well.
Oh, dude, look, I know, because you think as much time or as many times as you watch it, or anyone watches it for that matter, I watched it at least 10 times more because I edited it.
That's true. That is true.
Oh God. Oh, now that was quite a random sidetrack, but it is good. You sort of like in the mood again because I've got a feeling that this is going to be a very down spiral.
Yeah, it was a bit thingy, moody, wasn't it? So I've just lifted it up a little bit. Adele's talking about her nuggets, so she's happy again. So let's bring the mood back. Now everyone's happy. Let's just bring the mood down again.
Yeah, cheers, Don. Oh, nothing like manic depressive episodes.
That's what I do. So this one is called Why Bald and Bankrupt is Stopping. I've not watched all of these, by the way, so we'll bring up the Russian interview one next, and then we'll go into the one I sent you the link of, actually, the Dirty Secrets one. Okay? So here we have this video called Why Bald and Bankrupt is Stopping. And he is stopping.
Guys, have you seen Bald's and Bankrupt's latest post on YouTube? He posted yesterday and he already took it offline, so it wasn't even online for 24 hours, but basically it was saying...
So we'll leave it there for a second for you to see what it says. So it says, happy Belarusian girl with this weird guy. How far behind are you? Or that... I'm confused now. That was ages ago, wasn't it? Or have you rewound? So
Might have
on
been
this
watching
video...
the episode whilst we were...
Sends
whilst
too
you were
late.
wee-wee.
Bruce must have sent ages ago, didn't you? Today I am filming my last ever Soviet video. I have had the greatest adventures while doing it. I hope you have been inspired a little by some of what I have shown you. I also hope that after you have seen the last film, you will unsubscribe and go out and have your own adventures. Create your own, because your time is running out. I mean, really running out quickly. We will all be dead in a few years, and I doubt there's another run at it afterwards. Don't waste the precious time you have left watching others live their lives on a screen and being involved in triviality of the internet celebrities who don't even know or care who you are. Seize the moment to make your mark on the world. Finish your life with a mind full of incredible adventures and memories, not of you spending your years watching TikTok reels. I hope I opened up the former Soviet USSR region to you and taught you a bit along the way. Bald. So that was the post he put, and then he deleted it.
Guys, today I filmed my last Soviet episode, and after, unsubscribe and start doing something with your own life. Now the question would be, does last Soviet episode mean I'm gonna make other videos? I doubt it, to be honest, and here's why. On his Instagram he did mention I want to move to Latin America, make videos there, but after the Bolivia experience I actually doubt if that's actually a real thing. Also lately, people have been slandering his name on YouTube, so I guess he's just also pretty tired. And lastly, he mentioned that if I'm in my 50s and you see me with a camera, please shoot me. And you have to respect that if someone is like, alright, we had good fun, but now it's time to move on. It will be a sad day for YouTube to lose such a gifted storyteller and to see less of the post-communist countries. In that regard, we can only hope that other creators follow in his footsteps. And having that said, I just beat to 5 post-communist countries, currently editing the vlogs, and I hope in the future to make some content for you that you would also like. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. So, from what they're saying is, it's the end of what he's doing due to things like this, what we're doing now, negative talks about situations. It could be because he's trying to hang low with all this stuff coming out, and maybe he has to rebrand. I mean, he's renamed himself a few times, but we'll go through them bits. We've got more tabs still to go through about all them situations and. But yeah, so his channel was maybe the agreement part of the Rush films that he got rid of his channel. I'm not sure what power they would have over that. Once he's left their country, there's not much they can do, is there? He's been banned from the country anyway, so what legality they have for him to then not make content again if he's not allowed in the country? They can't arrest him, can they?
No, all they can do is ban your content in their country.
Yeah.
Like burning your books on a pyre.
Yeah.
In the olden days.
I think a lot of channels are... Yeah, well, he's banned, so I assume his channel will be banned, and I don't know. So I'm not quite sure why I don't understand why he would have to change his name and stuff, or leave the channel and make a new one. So I can't see that happening. When that guy says he's gonna stop it all, I can't see it. He's 50 years old. He's made money, but he's not made enough to retire forever unless he goes to a really poor country, lives off it, and he'll get the urge to come back out because for a guy like him doing what he's doing, it's easy money, isn't it? He's not editing content. You know, he's not. Some travel bloggers make beautiful edited travel blogs, like with drone footage and all that stuff. It's just all of it is a GoPro or his phone. That's all his video is. And it's facing that way. It doesn't even edit wind noise out. One of the last videos was like, you know, it's very raw. And he claimed that was because he wanted it as real as possible. But you'll see in this video, a lot of people say it's not because of that. It's because he wants to make money fast without much effort. He's lazy and wants to then just do what he wants to do off camera. So, let's go into the... Do you want to hear the interview or the dirty secrets one next?
Leave it out to...
Let's do the interview then.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
What was you going to say?
I was going to leave it to a poll, but there's only going to be one person for the suggestion anyway, I think.
Yeah, if I put a poll up,
at this moment in time, anyway.
Yeah, it's just...
I didn't mean like put a poll up. I just meant like point it to the people. Like, you know.
People? What would you want?
Well, by the time we get word.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So do the 30-second one because it sounds short. Is it short?
The interview is
or
6
is that
minutes.
misleading?
We'll do the interview. Do you want interview 6 minutes one? We'll do the interview because this talks about, before we go into the depths of the past of him and building up to this, we'll see the last bit of footage that was released of him, which led to him being banned from Russia, and then he's now in, I think, Czech somewhere. I think he's currently, no, he's in Estonia, moving back towards the Czech Republic where he bought property, I do believe. So this is Bald and Bankrupt, and this is the interview. This is the Russian interview, filmed by the Russians. Then it was released. Some people say they don't know whether it was agreed answers, agreed questions for what Russia wanted to be released.
You mean coerced?
Coerced, yeah. So it's made to be what they wanted to be released out into the public. Because they're not really known for being freedom of speech
or
information.
Anything is possible. Because again, like we're not the Russian government. We're not him. We don't know other than what we're about to say.
Yeah.
So it's assumptions. It's, you know.
Yeah. Let's bring it
so
up.
This isn't slander. This is just us, well, at least me reacting to what I'm seeing and hearing.
Два причин есть. Первая причина, знаете, в Западе, в Англии, наши СМИ постоянно делают давление, что, как сказать, ну, против России, можно так сказать, и особо против ваш президент. И, конечно, это было влияние на меня, я слышал это только этого. И я был там, когда я был там в Украине, это было очень рано, война, я думаю, что это сумасшедшее решение. Я не понял в это время совсем подробностей, почему это все повезло, просто, война, почему. И, ну да, я сказал, что я сказал, я писал, я думал, это может быть в этот момент. И тоже вторая причина, вы, может быть, не будете понимать это, но когда у вас есть лицо на YouTube, если вы хотите зарабатывать деньги еще, вам надо что-то сказать, что они хотят слышать, и что люди хотят слышать. Если нет, это будет проблема для вас. Так, я думаю, что это надо так писать, то, что у меня нет проблем с YouTube. Я просто не хотел проблем, потому что если я наоборот что-то сказал, да, что-то вы не представляете, как это будет проблема для меня. Проблема это, ну, каждый день я принесу много угроз из людей, потому что вы за Россию, вы всегда снимаете в России. И это я был чуть-чуть боюсь. Почему? Когда я вижу тебя на улице, ну, посмотрим, что будет между нами. Ну, из украинцев или кто-то, да. Итак, это большое давление. Итак, то, что у вас нету, это надо, я думаю, писать что-то, то, что они не будут мне, угрозить еще, если вы меня поймете. Я был чуть-чуть тупой тогда.
What'd you make of that?
If I'm honest, I sort of not tuned out, but I stopped reading what was being said and started watching. And those eyes, they aren't moving. Apart from when he looks away from whoever he's speaking to, right? And no questions are being asked. He's just speaking. And all that's being in response is, So unless they've written down questions and holding it up off of cards for him to speak to, for whatever reason, there could be a reason. That sounds kind of weird, but there might be a reason to keep the person's voice. But he's going, so can't be that much. But point being, if he's reading off of something, if he's being coerced in the sense like, we're going to put it in front of you, you're going to read it. Because he's just reading. There's no questions, at least so far, right? So, but you look at his eyes for that whole what was it? 2 minutes whilst he was talking. His eyes are not moving backwards and forwards like he's reading something. That's all I'm saying. Plus, there's a lot of shrugging to stuff, and body language experts say that that's diverting from the truth. It's like a lie. It's a telltale to say that's not true. What you just said, your body's saying that isn't true, like that, holding your hands up to, I think maybe, or like that's fine, but no, I don't know where she is. That isn't, but again, it's like, you've already said so much that my eyes are watching. Like I said to you before, as soon as somebody has something so serious said against them, everybody looks like that at you, waiting for you to do something to confirm it, like I said. But mainly, he doesn't appear, to me at least, to be reading off a cue card, right? So unless this was all pre-rehearsed and then he's just laying it out, in which case, why isn't he fumbling over his words? It sounds very fluent.
Yeah, so his answers to the questions were...
What questions? I've not had any questions so far that I've heard.
So the video starts with the question of... Here it is here. Why did you write in comments on your YouTube channel that Putin is crazy?
Okay, so there we are.
So that was his answer to the question of Putin being crazy, and it was to protect himself from the attack from Ukrainian people, and to make money with YouTube, and to protect himself. That was his main answers. So then it carries on.
Специальная операция уже 4-5-6 месяцев. И у меня было много времени узнавать больше информации про эту ситуацию. Почему Россия это сделала? Почему они сделали это решение? В первые дни я не понял, просто сразу война, почему? А сейчас, конечно, я прочитал, я узнавал информацию из разных мест, и я понял, что надо очистить этого района из, фашистов, можно так сказать.
So he finished it off saying he now understands that Ukraine as a nation needs to be purged of fascists. And he understands that now. He understands that's the reason why. At first he was like, war. And I was like, yes, I understand now why you're doing that. So he's obviously answering for what he wants them, what he thinks they want to hear him say.
Mm.
Because that's what the preparation is to...
Well, as we discussed prior to starting this really properly, like anyone's gonna say whatever they can to survive.
Yeah.
It just doesn't help that there's other stuff as well, you know?
Yes. The next question I ask is, were there...
Да, я
You
принесил,
see that
и не
question?
только я.
I didn't know.
Try and bring it back again. There we go. Were there instructions for you two about how to describe the situation
Да,
in YouTube?
я принесил, и не только я. Я думаю, что каждый ютубер, в принципе, мне принесли имейл из ютуба, и они сказали, что вы только можно сказать, говорить про эту ситуацию в Украине, и сторона Украины. Вы не можете показать сторона Донбасса или русские мнения про этого. Если вы будете, вы не будете на ваш канал, будет проблем, вы еще деньги рекламировать не можете, потому что это запрещено. Ну да, были это, в принципе. Это было, может быть, через... Я не хочу сказать, что не прав. Я не помню именно, когда я получил это. Но это было рано в этой ситуации. Просто они сказали, что вы не можете сказать что-то позитивное про эту ситуацию. Допустим, если я буду сказать, конечно, было надо специальной операции, потому что там у нас есть много фашистов там в Украине, да? Это нельзя.
То есть на Ютубе нет свободы слова? Или что?
Конечно, нет. Запад совсем нет. И это не должен быть новая информация для вас. Это, конечно, так.
Just go back to the last point again. I just want to see that
Нет
question.
свободы слова? Или что?
Конечно, нет.
So they ask...
Yeah.
So do you see that? So on YouTube, there is no freedom of speech. That was the question that the Russian government asked, and he put, of course not. In the West, there is absolutely none.
Here's why I don't trust him. It's a half truth. It's a half truth. Yeah. So again, you say whatever you want to or whatever you think they need to hear to survive, but there's these half truths, and it's done so. I want to say smoothly, but what I mean by that is like in terms of he's not tripping his words. He doesn't seem like he's cacking himself.
No. So they've asked him, is YouTube controlling your content? And he's saying yes. It takes away the blame on himself, doesn't it? So it's like, it's not my fault, but I need to make money. And YouTube's told me I can only talk about it from Ukraine's perspective. And if I mention Russia or Donbass, I can't earn any money. So I can't mention your reasons why. And that's why I don't say what you're doing is correct and stuff, because I'm not allowed to. So that's when they ask, is there freedom of choice? And he's put, absolutely, of course not. So he's feeding into what Russia's media belief system is, that there is no freedom of choice.
Запад совсем нет. И это не должен быть новая информация для вас.
And that shouldn't be new information for you, of course, because he knows that the media over there says that it's fascist controlled, we don't have the freedom that we pretend we have. That's what it's told to the people.
Конечно так.
So, yeah, so he's still answering what they want. He's told them he's not allowed to mention Russia's side of things because he can't make money, and he's a YouTuber. And he mentioned Putin being crazy because he was worried about being attacked in the streets, even though he was in Russia at the time. But why did you put a link on your channel to raise money for Ukraine?
Это посольство в Украине, в Лондоне, украинское посольство.
Украинское посольство.
Да, они написали мне через мой имейл. Первый раз я ничего не сказал, и потом они еще, Бенджамин, вы можете, пожалуйста, оставить много ютубер, это сделал, это деньги для... И я думал, почему нет? Так, я оставил это место, и тоже много людей мне сказали, почему вы не сказали про деньги, про Украину? разные ютуберы это сделали, а вы ничего не сделали помогать там. Так, я думаю, ну хорошо, если я буду это делать, это было бы лучше для меня.
So that's quite interesting. So if that is true, what he said, like he actually says the reason I did put the Ukraine link to help Ukraine financially was because it's better for me.
Hmm.
So
again, like that might be a half truth. Again, like we can only assume from what we hear, what we watch, what we read, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's going to make a video.
And that's always going to be a secondary account. Even him saying it like this, we're still questioning whether it's because he's just a human being, just trying to make sure that they survive, they get out of this situation that they found themselves in, right? Through bad choice, whatever. But well, say and like the half truths again, like there are YouTubers that I've watched that have sort of been quite outspoken or verbal, spoke out about how it's so easy to be dropped, cancelled, whatever, like the cancel culture and everything like that. But again, I think that's mainly in like the States and stuff like that. I don't hear a lot of people from other countries and that complaining about this.
Yeah.
But again, like I can't say that is happening because I've not had anything like that. But then again, it might be because we're not as big as what they are. But again, like it's one of those things you can't say it's true or it's not true because there's enough there to make you at least go, well, some of it's true. So it's enough. But again, this is an interview from the Russian government, right? So he's being interrogated essentially.
Yeah.
So you can't help but go, okay, well, both ways. Like, so yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, so
with
some
an
of the comments here is
interrogation.
honestly, this sounds like he's saying exactly what they want to hear. He's not stupid. He knows that if he told them the truth, he would 100% end up in prison in the middle of Russia for the foreseeable future. To be fair, he was thinking quick on his feet because he knew the danger he was in at that moment.
But that's fact. Whether he's a bad person, right, who almost got caught, right, or whether he's a good person who just was bright enough to get out of that situation, it doesn't matter really. What why are we or anyone else watching that, who is not the Russian government, or if he is this bad person, he's victims, because they would be victims, really, you think about it.
One of the things I'm interested in is why did they release the footage?
Who? Oh, well, it works for them in that favor, propaganda-wise. If you want to go down that route, if you're talking about the Russian government, right? It could also be a show of force in that way. Or it could just be some sense of transparency to show we aren't this closed state like we used to be under the Soviet regime, the Iron Curtain, as it were. It could be anything, because again, it's just presumptions, because we're not them. We don't know for sure.
It's interesting that they've released it.
It is interesting
through YouTube as well, because they're not currently on good terms with like this YouTube and westernized world stuff. They've got their own YouTube. They've got their own different portals. It's interesting that this has been released and edited, so it's not raw, because you can see where they've cut chops in between gaps of him speaking.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it works in either favor, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
So if you're watching it for one reason, you're going to see it. If you're watching it for another, you're going to see that. It's one of those sort of things.
Я столкнулась в принципе с людьми, которые мой возраст или больше, советские люди, в принципе, таксисты или что-то кассы, да. Они, в принципе, все не были довольны с ситуацией в Украине. Типичная ситуация. Я был в Бахмут, да, и Артемск, да, и я был таксист. Я говорил про это имя города. Он сказал, раньше это было назван Артемск. Да. Он сказал, и это было красивое имя. И сейчас надо говорить Бахмут. Я не могу сказать тебе, кто наш сказал и должен, но вы меня поймете. И, конечно, я помню, что это Азовский батальон или кто-то, понимаете? И это была типичная ситуация. В принципе, они чувствовали, что они русские, и более удобно в русский мир, чем в украинский. Я думаю, что это очень раздражало людей там в Восточной Украине, что произошло с Януковичем. То, что это был их президент типа, и потом революция, понимаете, да? И потом сразу, где наш президент? Потому что западные люди не хотели ему. Это очень раздражало. И после этого они не были довольны в Украине.
There is another 2 minutes on a different video. It was one at 8 minutes long. But it seemed like the comments said, and what we're saying is that he answered what he thought they really wanted to hear to get him out, and it worked. He got out. He's a free man again. He's banned from the country, but he's free, and he's probably milked his money's worth in that country anyway. What he was doing, so now he can move on to the next. But I'm sure there will be a video that he releases talking about that video and why he answered what he answered, and I'm sure he will explain it all.
I doubt it.
Do you not think he will?
No. Well, if our media is to be believed, and from what we've seen, that the Russian government, they're not, they don't work inside a box, do they? Just inside their country. They're very well known internationally in terms of solving situations. Yeah. So if you speak out in any way, I think that would just be left as it is, just that, I don't think he would speak about Russia again. In terms of Russia, I think he is done, just for safety, unless he's crazy or going to be a martyr, like I said, like willing to risk his life, or at least potentially. I'm not saying they would do anything. I'm not saying they have, but it's kind of one of those things that you just, when you rather tiptoe, be careful what you say. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree, man.
Because
I still think he will release one more video. I don't know if his channel will survive or if he's going to close it, but I don't think he'll close it because people will still watch the old videos and he'll still make money from that. So yeah, I doubt he'll close it. Whether he'll come up with a new channel or he'll just keep the same name and move on to something else, we'll find out more. Maybe he's, like he said, he's laying low. There's a lot of negative stuff coming out about him now. And maybe that's why he's laying low as well for a bit. Because it only takes for some big person to talk about this stuff and make it go viral. And then all the poor countries, because it does reach them, they do have phones, they do share phones and stuff. It won't be long before his face is recognised as the gamer. Some people still don't care. Some people will still...
If this stuff is true, all the negative stuff, then I don't know. I don't know if that would be correct either, because if they believed, if it was all true, like, and it came out and they were like, oh, you know, he's just manipulative little shit, sort of, you know.
Yeah.
He isn't this rich person. Why should we let him in? He's only going to take from us. We're not going to get anything out of it. Even the corrupt ones would see that all he'd be is a hole in their pocket. So I think if if it is true, then yeah, I mean,
one of the things has changed from when he
evidence would
first went
eventually
over there
come
doing
out.
it to now is he now is wealthy. So he's not a multi-millionaire, but he's now wealthy because of YouTube. When he
Yeah,
first
but
started, he
it's no
weren't
real-
wealthy, so it was all sort of lies and stuff, the cars and that. But now, with the YouTube earnings, he probably can purchase certain things and do certain things now.
So the
and some women will
situation's changed.
even
then.
if they know that about him, that he's a woman, he's a playboy, and he does all this stuff, they'll get what they want out of it as well.
But then, yeah, you're attracting flies with ointment, so to speak.
Yeah, but I don't think that bothers him. You know, like I said, he wants to bang on the 4-1 field, get at least 2 number 10 bangs. So it's a graded system. So he grades women from 10 down to 0. 2 10s he wants to bang. And that's where he talks about the Indian girls that could easily be 10s. They just need some fake tits and they'll be perfect. This is in the future posts we're going to go to next. You'll see this stuff. Yeah.
Great.
If you like what you're listening to, guys, or if you're not listening live and you're listening on maybe a recorded stream playback, then please like and subscribe. Lily has a channel on YouTube, and it is Lily. It might be Lily Gaming, but he also has other stuff going on as well, from video editing and discussions like this. And me is obviously Donny Hutton. Multiple channels. There's Donny Hutton. If you're interested in music, we've got Donny Hutton Music. If you want more of the talk shows, we've got the Donny Hutton Show. So we try to sort of segment things out to keep people interested in different things. And if you go to just the normal Donny Hutton, you'll get more of my sort of travel videos where I chat up vulnerable women. I'm joking. That is...
Oh, that's a great thing to throw in this conversation, isn't it?
So the normal Donny Hutton channel is more sort of about just the life, general life stuff. And holidays and stuff like that. So me and Lee went to Brazil, and Lee's kindly edited 14 videos of the trip. They're all on the YouTube channel, scheduled out, and there will be a live stream video commentary once they're all done of me and Lee talking about our trip together.
Nothing like this.
Yes, there's nothing like this happened. We did try.
Oh God, don't say that. Even as a joke. Yeah. Oh, people start eyeing up. Oh yeah.
In 10 years there'll be a video. Donny and Lee, what's the truth?
What I did, I admit, was wrong. I'm sorry.
Adele's put to Brazil, to woman. You saying we went to Brazil to have lots of women? Even if we did, we didn't achieve that. The only thing we achieved was lots of steak, lots of fried banana and rice, and lots of bidet fun. The only action my body got was the bidet. Spraying my bum with water. And Lee got to edit that in one of the last videos. So lucky Lee.
That, Dom. Yeah, thank you.
I'll
never forget that.
Through editing that, was it quite a surprise?
No, because I nothing was a surprise, Don, because you couldn't hide anything. Although, thankfully, certain things were hidden. They should have
You didn't see anything. You just heard. So for the visually impaired, you're fine. You can just listen anyway. So you've not missed nothing.
Unless you've got a really vivid imagination, in which case, don't even listen.
Yeah.
Or do if you're into that sort of thing. Oh dear. Oh. Okay. Why do I feel like you're gonna drag it down even further, Don? Because you've lightened the load again.
I lighten it.
It's like
And hit you
an
with the
ominous
heavy
cloud on the
stuff.
horizon.
Who sprays bum with water?
Rich people.
Right. So Adele. Hello. It's me. So it's called a bidet. Now, a bidet or bidet is a device that attaches to the toilet, and you spray water on your bum, and it cleans it. It means you have to use less toilet paper. And the first time is a bit weird. The second time is like, oh, actually, I get it. And they say that if all the countries started using bidets, we would save more water by using water than we would actually processing and making toilet paper.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so it takes a lot of water.
We'll save more water by using more water.
Yeah, so by using water on our bums, not toilet paper, we'll save water because you use more water creating one toilet roll than you would using a bidet. I thought you sprayed plants. What are you talking about? It's not a hose.
Well, the way that you reacted,
Yeah.
it sounded like it was a fire hose.
I'm not talking about it is kind of like a hose. Yeah, you are right, Adele. But it just sprays and it just washes it away. So if you've got any
oh god,
if you've got a ganky poo, so by ganky, that's probably not translatable in Ukraine and places, but a ganky poo is a poo that doesn't come out like a solid, it comes out like a, and it grips to the bumhole and hairs and other bits. That is a ganky poo, and that one means you're wiping for quite a long time, and it's very annoying when you're wiping a gank. So what you use, the bidet actually washes away the gank, so you only do one wipe afterwards. So I understand it for that purpose. It works wonders when you've got a gank poo. What's your views, Lee?
Oh.
Lee?
On what? On your take, or what's my take on it?
Yeah, what's your take on gank poo?
It's like sitting on a melted Mars bar. Oh god. Oh. But I'm not one to have to wash my backside because I'm squeaky clean. I'm not filthy like you.
Not filthy, but everybody at some point gets a gank poo, and they are an absolute pain. Because you sit down and you think, right, do a quick poo, and I'll get ready and get out of here, and then it ganks, and then it's like,
and it ganks.
And now you know you got to use
That's
half the
going to
toilet
be
roll.
added into the next dictionary.
Ganks.
Ganks, and it ganks.
Then you got
like a proper ganky poo.
Well, you know you've got at least half a toilet roll now. You got to use up maybe near a full one because it just doesn't stop. By the end of it, it's really sore, and it's still never ending. But with the bidet, it's washing away that extra gank.
You've used 5 trees.
Yeah, the rainforest is completely depleted because of that gank. And that's the thing. People talk about climate change and global warming. They should really be focusing on the gank poo. If we actually minimise the gank poo, we could be saving forests everywhere. So it's not about CO2, it's about gank. You know what I sense coming? Hello, Elon. Hey, Elon. Right, you know on the news lately, it's all about CO2. Who's this? It's Donny. Oh my God, Donny, I ain't heard you in ages. Yeah, it's been a while. You never done anything with my ideas. Yeah, we put them in the filing thing for like future projects. Ah, that's cool. No worries, Elon. That's great. So yeah, CO2, global warming, climate change. You heard of it? Yes, Donny, I've heard of that. Yes, that's why I'm trying to go to Mars. Right. Well, the solution is gank. Solutions what? Gank poo. Gank poo. Right. Why is it always poo in toilets with you? The last idea was toilets. The theory of bog. Yes. Yes. Oh, you remembered, Elon? Yes, I remembered. Theory of bog. Yes. And plop. Yes. Yes, I remember all this. Right. So a gank poo is when you get the really poos. Oh, actually, I had one of them the other day. Yes. And how much toilet roll did you use, Elon? I used quite a bit, actually. Did you use a bidet? You know what? I didn't actually connect it up. I did have a bidet, but I didn't use it. Well, Elon, if you used a bidet, you'll be saving 4 trees for every gank poo. 4 trees for every gank poo. Elon, I'm not lying to you, mate. 4 trees for every gank. Wow. Yeah, yeah. So when you go to Mars, bidet, imagine that. You don't even need trees to start off with. Just be bidet in it. Right. I love it. Right, can we talk more about this? Yeah, I'll add it to the list on. Because I'm not 100% sure the science works. Oh, my days, Eon. Why do you need science? Because I'm a scientist. Well, I think the theory of bog and gank will disprove most of your ideas. So just think on it. Next time you have a gank, remember what I said, okay? Okay, Eon, bye. Bloody man. He's getting more rude, I think, over time. He just doesn't appreciate my ideas. Adele, best ideas 2022. Hashtag best ideas 2022. I think they're great ideas. Lee loves my ideas. I think he's all for them. He's like literally. No, I need now. Next time we do that, we need like an image of Elon to appear on the screen.
Don, why don't you appeal that, right, to the local government, right? And you can call it the Happy Days.
Happy Days.
The Happy Days, yeah. The Happy Days agreement. Every household by the end of 2025 will have a connected B-Day. This is to save on CO2 emissions and the depleting rainforests around the world.
This is to stop the gank.
And I tell you what, because the British love a slogan, don't they? Boris proved that.
Yeah.
We can call it clean up your shit. Oh, God. What a weird tangent, Don.
I know I go off on random ones every so often, but...
I thought I was bad, but man, that was another level.
You know what it's like.
I do know what.
Elon?
Oh, poor Elon. Oh,
that's what he's like when he sees. He's looking at my name on his phone. He's like, oh,
not again.
Please.
It's another 10 minutes of my life I'm not getting back.
He's like, Don, just leave me alone, mate.
How do you keep getting these numbers?
Yeah,
I've got burner phones.
20 times, mate. Leave me alone. Sorry, Elon. Big up to Elon. Much love to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He's probably the most used person now in every video I make. Elon doesn't even know he's in my videos, but he's in all my videos pretty much now. He's like a celebrity. Even though he's a celebrity, but he's like a celebrity, if that makes sense. Probably don't, but...
yeah, I think... Well, I know what you mean, but I'm not sure the world would get what you mean.
No, they probably don't. All the listeners... Well, when I say all the listeners, Adele, do you get what we mean? Do you get what we mean? I'm surprised you're not sleeping now.
I'm surprised you're not sleeping.
Yeah, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock. I've not even started yet. Jeez. All right,
oh my God, don't say that, Don. You're going to be saying that every hour. We're not even started yet.
Yeah, it's cracking. This is 14 minutes, this video. This is the main video. We'll get going with this one. Jeez.
Oh,
right, this is the video that came up after I went down the rabbit hole and started realising all this stuff. The following piece contains bad language, adult themes, and morons. It was compiled from material freely available online. So this is the Dirty Secrets one. Just going to copy that. Paste that into my notes. Because I'm going to put the links, like I said, to all these videos in the descriptions and for you to freely watch at your own time. and make your own decisions, because that's what it's about. And that's how the world should be. Whether you agree with it or don't agree with it, you should all be entitled to your own opinions, your own decisions, and your own views, and make up your own minds. And yeah, freedom, information, and sharing should be allowed regardless. But once proven innocent, I guess it should be then remained maybe that way.
Can't watch. Not allowed.
Bad lot of adult themes. You are funny.
Here we go.
This cheeky fella is Bald and Bankrupt. Bald, whose real name is Ben Rich, is a British vlogger who travels the former Soviet Union and India having adventures. He's one of the top YouTubers in the world with 3.5 million subscribers. And he may also be
I'm such a gentleman.
a prolific sex tourist.
I found someone who's looking for girls like me. Where are the girls at? Let's find some chicks.
To his millions of fans, which once included me, Ben makes fun videos as he travels through the FSU, the former Soviet Union, and India. But what they don't realise is that Ben's YouTube travel channel disguises its true purpose. Just under the surface of his videos, Russian-speaking Ben Rich, nearly 50, leaves clues that show he's into seduction, also known as the game. A misogynistic community populated by these juddering bellends who post anonymous reports on forums where they advise how to target women and girls. One forum contributor in particular, Vorkuta, has so much in common with Ben Rich, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's actually him. But let's take a quick break before we get into this, and check out an old video of Ben's where he wanders around Delhi like a dog with two dicks.
Oh, sexy little things in their hijabs. Wow. What a place. What a place. I never see so many burqas in my life. Look at it. It's like Afghanistan, probably. I'm a little bit scared to flirt. Might get lynched. I do like a woman in a hijab. Is the hijab one when you just see the eyes? It's very sexy when you just see the eyes. Leaves a lot to the imagination. You start imagining what's under the rest of it.
When Ben started his
That little look at the end he does turns my stomach when he goes.
Yeah. You see, like, if that was you saying that to me,
He does look like
right,
Russian, yeah, he does.
in private,
Hmm.
right, I would probably laugh.
Yeah.
Because I know what you are like in truth, like in reality. I know what sort of, but you are the opposite of that. Like, you don't, that is not the sort of, that would be a sort of caricature or a piss take you would be doing.
Yeah.
You know, a joke.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do it to a camera, to other, like, to a complete stranger of the audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, unless it was an act sort of thing. But that, yeah. That's
how it starts. I mean, he does look like he's drunk. His
it's
eyes
the
look a
use
bit
of the words. It's all very
sexy little.
Where
hijab.
are you going with this, dude? Like, there better be a hard at the end of this, but there isn't. It just cuts.
Yeah. What you want is,
yeah, or some indication that it's humor, like a cheeky eye wink or something along the lines of Carry On, because all of that was tongue in cheek and very raunchy, wasn't it? Like joke wise and indication, but there was that sort of comedic effect along with it. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's trying it, but he's very poor
it's
at
like
doing it.
You do a joke sometimes, and it's a bit to the mark that I do sometimes. You know, I'm joking, and it's a bit like, oh god. But when he
It's
says
cringing,
when he said them jokes, you feel the element of truth. You don't feel it's tongue in cheek like her. You feel actually no, you said the joke, but you mean it, because when you said it afterwards, you was like, it was like that sexy little hijab. What's underneath it? Do you know what I mean?
You say you doing it makes me laugh because it is funny. Because I know you,
Yeah.
and it's yeah. But that's the thing. Like those are the sort of things that people pick up on, and whether it's subconscious or they're actually conscious of it. That like, red flag, stay
More
away
and more,
from me.
when I went to the comment sections and other things, you start seeing all these people saying, I loved watching these shows, but then I started seeing a couple of mannerisms of things he was doing. Like secretly, like he'll do stuff and then he'll film a girl's ass for 20 seconds or 10 seconds and then come back.
Yeah, like you keep that. If you do, like, I'm not that sort of person, right? But if you did that, I would assume that that's a sort of private thing. If you're doing it to get your rocks off later on, even sharing it with your mates, something that people I've heard do, I'm not that way inclined. I think that's kind of disrespectful. But again, that's me, and that might be down to our culture as well. Again, cultures could be different. I don't know. I'm not that well traveled. I've not met that many people or, been in that, different cultures that deeply to know that, but still, like, yeah, there's.
I've never been one like that. I don't like the
like
idea
you
of
don't
sharing
you keep
photos
that
of
to
your partner
yourself.
with
You don't.
mates.
Yeah, you don't share it online.
Yeah.
Like that's something else.
I know guys that will share photos of girls they've been with or partners and stuff, and it's like, nah.
But that sort is still private though, right? It's like it's to you. It isn't like
no WhatsApp groups as well with groups of friends.
Ah, no, you see
It's just-
that's the same to me. To me, that in my opinion, that's the same as pointing it on the YouTube video or what.
Yeah.
It's public. Anyone
Yeah, I don't
can
share
see
it. Have I ever showed you a picture of anyone I've ever been with?
No,
I never would. I just
I
don't
could
think
say
it's
the
right
same thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
No, but that's what I mean. You keep that private. You don't share that. So you could say that's a different in terms of opinion. But he's from the same country as we are.
Yeah.
So there isn't a culture difference between us. And even if we were raised in a different, me and you are raised in a different households, we still have the same moral code.
Yeah.
We're two completely different people.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I don't know, personal opinion, it still holds the same, and it's only getting worse, really, unfortunately. But again, that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying anything to sway anyone else. You asked a question, I'm answering it. That's all there is to it. And it could change. Like, if it turned out that, this is not true, now, I'll say, like I did before we even started this, you can only assume, anyone can only assume from what you hear, right? Unless you are one of the persons involved.
Yeah.
In whatever situation.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cop-out, but it's true.
Yeah. After we watch this, we'll then scroll into the comments, because that's where you can find goldmine. Either absolute nonsensical comments or interesting viewpoints. Dave Gorman's one of my favourite comedians. He does like PowerPoint comedy, and he does things called to the, I can't recall it, they're saying to the, he has a choir sing it, but it's Facebook comments. But he scrolls down to the very bottom of comments that no one goes to, and he pulls out the goldmine comments, and some of them are so funny. He's back on tour again now. I really want to see him.
Awesome. Oh yeah,
he's
check
top
it
of my
out.
list. Next
date
person
we'll
to
go.
see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see him. Dave Gorman is absolutely
Will be good.
hilarious, man. I love him. Oh, so funny. He lives in I think he lives in what's it called? Near Roman Road. I think he lives.
Really?
Yeah, I think he lives there now. Yeah, on one of his shows he's talking about living near Roman Road. Which I thought was quite cool.
That's because he's still a poor bastard. No, probably still likes it there.
What do you think of this guy, Adele? Do you think you said he looks like he's Russian. He has got I think it's because he's shaved his head and he's... Also, Adele, question for you. A lot of people in the videos that we watch are saying that he's Russian, even though he can speak it, isn't very good. They called it caveman Russian. So it was kind of like rushed, like he's rushed to learn it to intermingle with people, but he's not actually speaking full sentences. Rather than saying,
Right.
taxi, I want taxi now. It's like very blah blah blah, missing words and stuff. Do you detect that by listening to what he's said, or is his Russian fluid? Because I don't know if what they're saying then is true, but it's just comments and the video saying he's Russian.
Well, I have no idea. I don't speak any other
smooth.
language fluently other than English.
He had accents and sometimes missing words. Right, so that's what they're saying. In the missing words, he's not forming full. Even though it sounds like he's making sentences and he puts subtitles in, he's missing words and things like that. But that's understandable. It's not his native language, but it's still good. So he's understandable.
So you can get by in the conversation.
Yeah,
which,
but
it's obviously the case anyway.
Someone was saying it's cave. One of the comments was, or the video was saying it's caveman Russian. But again, they might have an agenda against him. We also have to think as well, like he's successful on YouTube. He's being paid to travel the world. He's meeting lots of people. He's obviously meeting lots of women as well. He's being paid by YouTube to do this. He's eating great food, having a great time, doing what he dreams of doing. And yeah, maybe he's sleeping with lots of women.
You're going to have lots of envious people, aren't you?
And there's a lot of envious guys going, oh, he's just a dirty, misogynistic creep. He's doing all this stuff. But I'm trying to speak on the other side of things now, because I've been a couple bit attacking on him with some of the things I've said. So trying to think like, but let's look at it like he's a guy that's going, he's 50, so he's going out, meeting women, chatting them up, and then sleeping with them. Is it a crime to manipulate the situation by pretending you're better than what you are? Now, why I say this is, if that's the case, then 99% of all humans are doing what he's doing. Because if you look on Tinder or any dating sites, I would say nearly every woman has filters on her face that make her look 10 times better looking than what she is. They all are lying about who they truly are. So if he's saying he's got more money than he has, how manipulative is that really in that situation? Because it could sway a girl if she thinks he's rich, but he's not. It's still her choice to sleep with him. How morally wrong is that? How morally wrong is people putting filters on their face and not looking anything like who they are? Is that not just as bad?
If they're portraying it as though that is who they are, like, yeah, this is really me with eyes that are 10 times bigger than a normal person's proportions and really slender, non-blemished features. And it's like, okay, look, you know, in that sense, like, it's you're not happy with yourself, the way that you look. Okay, that's kind of sad, you know. But when you meet them, that isn't there anymore, you know. So it's not the same, even in that case, right? The catfishing, right? If you never met the person, that it's a bit awkward. But then again, you know, if you're easily led that much, then there's a situation there anyway. But if I turn around and I was like, you know, I've got X amount of money, I'm a rich bastard, blah blah blah, and the next woman who flirts with me after me saying that, how can I trust, right, that she isn't in it for the money? Or vice versa, where even if it's a woman doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you're thinking relationship. This obviously.
No. I'm thinking. How much? No. Like, how much can you how much can you trust that they are who they say they are? In a sense, not like, oh, you're being manipulated. You could be played in that. Like, they could be gold diggers, or you know, I don't know what the male form of that is, but gold diggers, regardless, male or female, right? They could be after you for your money or your fame, you know, to get noticed and known celebrity. You know, could be either of those things, but they could also be not clean in that sense. If you're going out just to sleep with anyone, you're playing Russian roulette anyway. But if you're doing it in a way that you're only going to attract, or the odds of attracting the wrong sort of person, all you're doing is increasing your odds to have a very bad time or consequences of that. You know, that's the way that I think anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knows these women attracted by the money and the foreignness.
That's
and
facts. I mean, people.
He's okay with that. He just wants what
where
he wants.
goes.
You know, he gets what he wants. It's done. He may manipulate it and
if nobody's
trade his picture
it, or nobody's been harmed, yeah, nobody's lost anything, right? Then no, it's not. It might not be right. You might not agree with it, but that's your opinion. But nobody's actually been harmed. Then that's just. It could be. Oh, maybe you're a little bit envious, jealous. Could be. You know, it could be. You know, you're a human. You can only feel some sense of emotion, but that sort of thing. I mean, you get what you deserve in that sense, you know, because if all you do is lie, then you're going to get caught out. And even if you don't get caught out, there's going to be bad situations you find yourself in.
Yeah.
My opinion, anyway. I don't know. I'm not a bad boy.
Channel in 2018, he pretended to be so spiritual, he practically shat Bibles.
Now I'm going to take some water from the Indus and sprinkle it on Shivaji. And now my puja is complete.
In sycophantic language, Ben's early videos fawned over and sympathised with the Indian people.
Your gentleness and welcoming nature to all was your downfall. Your nation was raped by kings, queens and emperors. Your treasures ruthlessly stolen from you and sent off overseas to colder climates.
But just 6 years earlier, Vorkuta was bragging on the Rushvi forum about banging Indian women.
So this opens up now the first bit. So Vorkuta. This is a place in Russia. Vorkuta. It's a place in Russia. And this is where... So in the pickup artist world, they all use like taglines. So there's one famously called Mystery. And he was a tall guy, always wore big hats, and his thing was magic. And he would manipulate and game women to sleep with all the hot Playboy girls. But he would use magic to stand out above the crowd. There's a guy called Neil Strauss who wrote a book called The Game. And he was one of the first sort of pioneer people of this little tiny, skinny, bald guy. And he wrote a book called The Game. It was about his life trying to become a pickup artist. And he went to courses and seminars and learnt all these skills. He ended up writing a book. And I actually bought 2 of his books. I bought The Game to read. Really interested in it. And I bought his book on dating called The Game something. 30 Days to Find a Girlfriend. Because I always struggled with confidence, how to approach. So my thing was approach anxiety, was how do you approach someone you like? So I thought maybe reading one of his books would teach me how to do that. It never did. But he did a 30-day plan of how you can just approach anyone you like and win them. And it wasn't so much about just sleeping with everyone, but it was getting that confidence in yourself that you could just go up to someone you like, do something, talk to them, and have their interest. Mm-hmm. So there's a few like that, and his name was Vorkuta? Vorkuta. So this is a forum where they all speak, but they don't use real names. They use like pseudonyms or stage names. And when they go out gaming, they would all use their stage names, so they was never traceable as people. So that was always a bit
serial killerish.
Yeah, it's a bit thingy in it. So The Game was a really interesting book because Neil Strauss, he wrote books for Marilyn Manson biography. He wrote a book for Motley Crue. He wrote their autobiography as well for them. So he's a really good author. And The Games was a book about his life in that world. And he became a massive coach in the end. But he wrote a book, like a 30-day challenge, to get you to approach and get the girl. Now, it doesn't mean you sleep with 50 girls. It's about getting you to the point where you could approach any girl you want to approach and just speak to her. A bit like what Smithy, if we said to Smithy, go and speak to her, he'll just go and speak to her.
Yeah, but he has no ego. There's a difference.
Yeah, so the book was about trying to teach you how to do that, and it didn't work for me because I still was me. I still had my...
Yeah, but like there's the crux of the problem as well. Like, he has the opposite of you. You have a problem with rejection, yeah, because it's not really confidence you feel about being rejected and how you would respond to it. So whether or not it happens, it's you worry about that, and that's what stops you, right? He's the opposite. You have to stop him from doing something.
Yes, Smithy doesn't.
He doesn't stolen from you and sent off overseas
not like
to
you.
colder climates.
Yeah.
But just 6 years earlier, Vorkuta was bragging on...
Lovely guy.
So I was just trying to get the text clearer. So can you see the text?
Yeah, I can read it. It's a bit blurry, but and from somebody who has a problem with things on white background.
So what we've got here is these are posts on the forum website. So this is Vorkuta is a wingman. So if you're unaware what that is, it's you go out in twos normally. One guy, you take turns helping each other. But
right.
One guy's your support person, so he's there to help you increase your game. He's your wingman. He's your support network. They go out. There's 4 of them that were doing this in Ukraine that we know of, all with different names, wingmen each other. But yeah, so for Vorkuta, he put Spartan. So that's another guy's called Spartan. I lived in India for 4 years. Benjamin Rich, aka Born and Bankrupt, was in India for 4 years. Udipur and Rajasthan, ran a hotel there and learnt to speak passable Hindi. Same as Born and Bankrupt. Despite that being in my favour, I only banged 3 Indian girls in all my time there. Rajasthan was admittedly a conservative state, so that made things harder than I had been chasing Sundar Lurkis in Bombay. However, even there it is hard and built on social circle. The girls I banged were 2 dancers that I hired for a certain event at the hotel, and a Bollywood actress. Being a dancer actress in India means you are on the edge of cultural norms because you are flaunting your body on public view. Therefore, they were looser girls morally and easier for me to bang. I could have banged regular Indian girls, but it would have required me to date them in secret for a long, long time. I considered doing that with one very good-looking girl, but it would have messed her up when eventually I left the country, and I sure wasn't going to marry her. So, that first bit, I know the terminology like banging and all that stuff isn't great, but on the forum it's very, what's the word? Machismo, like
machismo, macho, isn't it? Machismo,
yeah. So it's using words like bang and all that stuff to portray that sort of thing to the other guys. So maybe he's over. But there's an element of understanding and moralness there when he says, I considered one girl, but it would have messed her up, and eventually I would have left, and I wasn't going to marry her. So he has got this bit there, kind of shows that I could have done it, but I've got more. I didn't want to hurt her. Do you see what I mean? He could have done it, but he chose not to because it would have messed her up. Do you see what I mean by that? So they've highlighted all the negative things he said, but that bit there is kind of a positive statement there.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to look at this as though like it's a sort of factually written piece, like this is this person for definite, you know, because again,
this is 100% Vorkuta. This is a forum. I've got all the links to these.
Yeah, but
Um,
whether or not he is that person and
No.
so on and so forth. That's what I mean.
So what we find out eventually, you'll see that Vakuta is also known in brackets as Mr. Bald. Later on, he likes to be called Mr. Bald. He lived 4 years in India, the same as Born and Bankrupt. He wrote a book, same as Born and Bankrupt. He also writes blog posts in here about his sexual stories, which also gets written by Arthur Chichester, or Winchester, what his name was.
Right. So the connections there, it's too hard to deny. Yeah, fair enough. Right,
we'll see more of these come up, but I just thought, because I feel like I'm quite attacking towards him, saying it is him.
I mean, like
a positive statement
but,
there.
Well, or is it? Depends how you read it. Why would you consider it if you knew it was wrong? And for that matter, for that matter, you can think something that doesn't make you a bad person. Thinking about something, thinking through something, meditating on something, as dark or whatever, doesn't make you that sort of person. Because everybody has, the ability to do dark and monstrous things, right? But it's why would you say that again? Why would you make that a public thing?
Yeah.
If all these guys are being machismo to each other, whether or not it's through peer, oh yeah, I'm big, I'm the big I am, or whether it's code to each other, like that sort of stuff, then why would you admit weakness? Because that would be weakness to these sort of people. Do you know what I mean? So it depends on how you read it. Yeah, on one essence, it could be, yeah, I'm not that sort of person in the end.
Yeah.
Or it could be something else. That's what I mean. Because it's not them speaking and doing whatever. It's written, So it's hard.
The thing is that the dating scene works in an incomprehensible way compared to us Westerners. Men there usually have arranged marriages and don't get laid till their wedding night, or at least they would not if they did not resort to prostitutes. There are whole villages and towns where the main business is prostitution. There are more prostitutes in India per capita than Thailand, and that tells you how the scene is there. Men don't go to clubs there. I'm talking about India in general terms as an experience by the average dude. Instead, to meet girls, they ride on their scooters or bicycles, or walk along the place where the town promenades in the evening, and they flirt by looks and smiles. If a smile is reciprocated from a girl, they find out who she is, social circle game, and write love letter and give it to someone to pass on to her, or try to get her number and send an SMS. They then meet in secret for years, not telling anyone, and in constant fear of her family finding out. They lead little secret relationships that are very childish, like we did when we were 10. Just holding hands, maybe a quick peck on the cheek. That is the lucky ones. The rest resign themselves to not falling in love, but just letting mum and dad find them someone. I know intelligent people out there, successfully, seemingly modern people, who did not meet their wives until they lifted the vow after they were pronounced man and wife. I imagine that most were terribly unhappy. Imagine knowing you had just married an ugly bitch. That is why the arranged marriage work line is a myth. They don't work behind the scenes at all. They just work statistically because their families won't allow them to divorce due to shame and honour. Reasons are fucked up.
Now, it's kind of ironic that the finishing statement is an attack on the people that he started off saying, oh, yeah, so beautiful, I'm going to bang them. Whether or not you thought, oh, this is a good person by the end of it, fucked up.
It's purely, everything's purely aesthetics. It's no.
On the Roosh V forum about banging Indian women.
I have digressed. Go to India. It's a mad experience. The contrast amazing. Check out Ladakh or the northeast, wild and stunning places which you will love, but don't go expecting to bang regular Indian girls. What you can do is bang hundreds of horny backpackers. Get on the trail that goes from Dhammasaya, then down to Pahalgam in Delhi, down to Agra, then Pushkar, Maybe up to Jaisalmer if you fancy a camel safari, then Udaipur down to Bombay, chase some rich chicks, fuck some women in the ashram in Pune, and then Goa, where you will fuck plenty. Then Hampi, onto On Beach in Karnataka, and then down to Trivandrum for some more beach fun. Thousands of horny Russians, French, Israeli, Scando chicks take this route every year. I had a great time riding my Royal Enfield along the route with a different girl on the back each week. Awesome memories. Get some tie-dye shit on. Get some beads and talk about how amazing and spiritual India is. His YouTube video that showed you. Drop into conversations how you are studying to play sitar with your guru in Venice, and the backpackers will fall at your feet and worship you. They are all the same going to India to find themselves, but merely finding themselves being fucked by a filthy rickshaw wallah who read their palm and told them the story of how Ganesh got his elephant head. For someone with your experience in Europe, you will bang loads. P.S. If you like black chicks, go to church there on Sunday. You will meet hundreds of African students at church, and they love to party and fuck hard. You'll get invites to their parties with no trouble. Crazy, isn't it?
It's to change his language as well all of a sudden.
It's crazy, Adele, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. So this is obviously what's his name, Vortek,
calling Mumbai a shithole and claiming villagers worship dung.
So again, he's put nice find. This is Vorkuta, sorry. Nice find on the pictures, man. About the thing is though, that is the elitist side of Delhi, the one that the average traveller would not get into. Also, two hottest women were foreign, Uzbek and Russian. These places do exist in Mumbai and Delhi, but you need contacts to get them into the right nights. That is by no means impossible to do, but you need to spend time there and hit the right ground. Outside of the big metro cities and major tourist areas, there is nothing in the way of bars and pubs and clubs in the way we know them. Some states you can't even buy alcohol in without foreigners' permit. When I used to go down to Gujarat state, I had to smuggle beer with me or pay the hotel manager to sort something out. It's hard to understand just how backwards and anti-game India is until you travel there. That is why targeting fellow travellers is the way to go. Those Israeli chicks are incredible. If you do want to tap hot Indian women, then move to Delhi or Mumbai, preferably. Mumbai, although it is a bigger shithole. I was in a mini relationship with an actress who was famous in the mid-90s there. She came to the city I lived in to film, and we met at a mutual friend's house and hit it off. She invited me to Bombay, and I lived with her for a month, seeing a side of India only the elite class see. That was mad, going to clubs where there were Indian men and women doing lines of coke openly on tables. I'd never even seen an Indian woman drink alcohol before that. There are some stunning women in Mumbai, as it is the film industry capital, but you won't meet them unless you have an in. However, if you do get an in, then being a foreigner is a DHV if you carry yourself right. So you're displaying high value, which is why they approach also like men when there's a group sitting. Carries on.
Pause this video to read these.
So this is another section as well. I used to go to rural regions on my motorbike all the time looking for adventures. I used to end up, the first videos of Bald and Bankrupt in India are all on motorbikes. On a motorbike all the time looking for adventures. I used to end up in towns where they have never seen a foreigner before and have the entire village surrounding me, gawking mad adventures. You saw them videos as well. I mention this because in the villages I would see some girls who had the potential to be stunning. Tall, with exquisite aquiline features, put them in jeans and heels and a blouse, give them some fake tits and you'd have the hottest girl. But they live in a world so utterly different to ourselves that it would be impossible to do so. In the villages they worship dung. That's right, they scrape up cow shit with their hands and place it in a pile on their doorstep and pray to it in the mornings. I don't say that to mock their beliefs. I'm a Jew. I think he's Jewish as well. I'm a Jew and we believe all kinds of weird shit, but merely to emphasise the vast, unbridgeable cultural divide between us and the average Indian chick who does not live in a metro city, Madras, Calcutta, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. So yes, there are potentially hot women in the country, but you could never in 100 years have any kind of relationship with one. They have no concept of what a knife and fork is, so getting each other is impossible. The saying is in India that only the rich and the poor are free. The middle classes are too ruled by social mores and they are conservative. Therefore, target rich girls from the upper classes in the metros or target the Dalit class girls untouchables. I fucked 2 of them, but again, they are backwards and had little idea how to fuck. The idea of a BJ repulsed them. They soon learned to love the Angalese ligum. However, I don't know what that is. The other way to get laid constantly in India is to hire staff at your place. The rule in India is that the man of the house fucks his cleaners or cooks, etc. So put an advert in the paper, an interview for a cleaning position, give them €20 a month, and then you get to fuck them as much as you want. I never took that route with my staff as it felt too exploitative, but my Indian friends fucked their staff regularly. Cringe, innit?
Yeah, and I don't like, untouchables. It comes from the Victorian era. It might even be before that, but it's for the police to report. Basically just to close the case. Oh, it was a prostitute, was it? She was an untouchable. Yeah. Oh, she was a drug addict, or he was a drug addict. Ah, yeah. Untouchable. Closed case. It's their own fault, sort of thing. That's why they're called untouchables. Well, at least, that's if that's what he's saying. He might be saying untouchables because they are the sort of your parents find your husband or wife type of country or culture that they are untouchable in these with these ways of approaching them, which thank fuck for them, really, if you think about it. Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, the language just changes, and again, like you've obviously done a bit of research, and you've said like, oh, it is him. Like the evidence is saying, it is him. Like, okay, well, in that case, I can only keep repeating in my head whenever things like this come up. Earlier on, where there was the video where he went, "Oh, I'm such a gentleman." I thought to myself, I didn't want to say anything, but I thought to myself, a gentleman doesn't say, "I'm such a gentleman." A gentleman at most would go, "I try and be."
Yeah.
If someone calls him a gentleman, yeah, I try and be. Thank you. I try and be, or whatever.
Yeah.
Be humble about it. A gentleman doesn't go, "Oh, I'm such a gentleman."
A gentleman never calls himself a gentleman.
No.
And you think as well, like, obviously there's more stuff to come at you. You'll see when you start linking it together. But so far you've seen India. Well, that's where he started his YouTube channel. The same time period, roughly, as these blog posts. Motorbike adventures. His first videos were on motorbikes, back and forth, up and down. On YouTube, you can see him still on a motorbike, up and down. And the wording and stuff, you can feel that persona. We'll carry on playing it through just so you can start seeing the picture more.
If you want, but a warning in advance. An absolute dick.
So he says an absolute dickhead.
An absolute dick.
So this is what...
I like this guy. I mean, this guy obviously he sounds like he's from our neck of the woods.
Yeah.
The words he's using, the way he's responding, he sounds like an East Londoner.
He's a British guy, but he's got a voice changer on, hasn't he?
Yeah. But it's his terminology and the words he's using. He sounds. Maybe not Cockney, but he sounds like a Londoner.
Yeah.
For sure.
So here we've got Vokuta. Your insight is absolutely insane, dude. Where and how long were you in India for? I haven't lived in India for 7 years. Every trip back is surreal. He put, yeah, India is exactly that, surreal. You see fucked up stuff that you can't believe you've seen. I went there backpacking when I was 19, back in 94. Ended up sick in Udaipur and kind of never left. Stayed for 4 years and ended up running a guest house. Where did you live? Now, what did Bored and Bankrupt say previously? In the one of the
well,
good night,
what
Adele.
you told me that
Sweet
he
dreams.
the same thing. No, my dear, have a good sleep.
He said that he had a guest house. He worked there for 4 years.
Wonderful.
So that kind of fits in as well. So
Dickhead wrote these posts.
Put that line again.
Pause this video to read these if you want, but a warning in advance. An absolute dickhead wrote these posts. Vorkuta also said on the naughty... Nomad forum that he ran a guest house in India for 4 years. Here's Ben Rich saying exactly the same thing.
So I'm going to just get these back so you can actually see them.
His posts.
So this is another one. Your Indian Surab cool. Again, these are just posts about.
Cooter also said on the Naughty Nomad forum that he ran a guest
I can't actually see that one.
house in India for 4 years. Here's Ben Rich.
So he put lived there for 4 years in 20s. This is Vorkuta on a different thing. He's using the same name though. Forgetting game Indians, not worth it. Instead, target the thousands of Western backpackers who travel there. India is a fuckfest if you target foreigners. There is an ashram in Pune where they practice free love. Loads of foreign chicks there opening their legs for all the sundry. Great memories.
Saying exactly the same thing.
What was supposed to be a 1 month journey actually turned into 4 years. I fell in love with India completely and ended up opening my own hotel in the country.
Okay, so that was him saying that in his video. He ended up running it for 4 years, his own thing, and he fell in love with India and ended up opening his own hotel, which was a guest house. So that fits in with the blog posts. They've pieced it all. They've been piecing the information together for a long time now. So this is Vorkuta in Russia. The name of
It was actually a town in Russia, the most easterly in Europe. There's a write-up about it in an now-defunct magazine called The Spectator by a Russian-obsessed aspiring writer called Ben Rich.
So there's an article written about Vorkuta, a town in Russia, and it was written by a guy called Ben Rich. The Bald and Bankrupt's real name is Ben Rich. So there's another reason, another link to the pseudonym Vorkuta, because the person who is Bald and Bankrupt used the pseudonym, or used his real name Ben Rich to write an article about Vorkuta. Ben Rich is also Bald and Bankrupt. Vorkuta is a person that was in India for 4 years in a guest, and then had a guest house. Bald and Bankrupt was in India for 4 years, had a guest house. Bald and Bankrupt is Ben Rich. Ben Rich is Bald and Bankrupt. Vorkuta has the same place as what Ben Rich wrote. Do you start seeing the links now?
Yeah, yeah. Because you could argue, oh, well, Benjamin is a popular name when I was a kid, and Rich is not a unusual name, you know, like a lot, you know, even mine. Unusual, made up even, maybe, you know. But when you have so many things that connect, you start, because you could turn around and say, well, that, you know, whether or not you believe in coincidences, you could turn around and say, well, that's a heck of a lot of coincidences, you know. Until at what point do you like go, okay, that's too many coincidences now, you know.
Yeah. If it's one thing, you think, oh, that's interesting. But when you've got, it's already built, isn't it? You got Bald and Bankrupt was in 4 years in India at a guest house.
You're human. You're gonna trip up.
Vorkuta had 4 years in India, and plus these forums are written in a forum, so with a group of PA artists, pickup artists. So they were never expected to ever be released publicly. It's like their own private forum to divulge. And Vorkuta information was never thought that would easily be traced back to an article called Vorkuta, written by Ben Rich, because Bald and Bankrupt 10 years later made a video saying the same stuff that Vorkuta said 10 years later. The person doing it never in a million years would have thought they could be easily related. He probably even forgot about that post saying he was there for 4 years.
Most likely.
So you got Vorkuta, who was in India for 4 years and opened a guest house, and you got Bald and Bankrupt in India for 4 years and opened a hotel, who loved to ride motorbikes in India, the same as Vorkuta. Vorkuta actually is the name of a place in Russia written by Ben Rich. Ben Rich is the real name of Bald and Bankrupt. Already, it's a beautiful connection. These people that have been piecing this together for the last 7-8 years.
And you could argue, if that was all, you could say it's too clean.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel that this only continues.
It only continues.
In Lead and Purple Prose, Ben tells of his fascination with Vorkuta ever since he was a teen. There's further clues under the fantasist, the name Vorkuta changed to years later.
So years later, Vorkuta changed his name from Vorkuta to the Fantasist. Now, is that because...
That's not a good name.
Yeah. Whether it's because...
Already.
Maybe he just wanted to cover up that past, that bit, but...
Presumably in an attempt to pretend his post-history is all made up. The fantasist says he's 6'3" and in his late 30s in 2012. Oh, just like Ben. Ben's date of birth was revealed when he made international bloody headlines trespassing on an airbase, and the Russian authorities released his ID next to that of his Belarusian side chick. 1st of July 1974. Got it. Young Ben harboured dreams of photography and writing, and while he was getting published in The Spectator, the Kyrgyzstani one, he was also chatting shit in pickup forums, where he discussed learning Russian so that he could go there and bang hotties. In this forum post, Vorkuta considers buying a dirt cheap house in Belarus and fucking the local farm girls in it, or as Ben puts it on camera.
I used to have a romantic image of what a Russian village was like. Of moving there, buying a little house there and setting up a life maybe in a village, just reading books, reading Chekhov for the rest of my life.
These
See what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the name rings a bell, right? Chekhov. And I looked it up, and it's if it is who I think it is, no, it can't be. No, because the only I checked it out, and what I thought was what I thought. What I saw was what I thought, but what I thought is not right. Let me explain. Chekhov. I thought that name rings a bell, and from what I remember, that it was like Russian, but I'm sure it was either a character or a writer like Hubbard, like Scientology, but back in the day. And I looked, and it's the Russian character from Star Trek.
Okay.
So it was something along the lines of what I was thinking, but it's nothing related. So, but I'm sure like there was a writer as well, though, like a Soviet writer, very nihilistic sort of way of writing, but that could be completely different as well.
Yeah.
But
the name
in a village, it sounded very strange the way you worded it.
Changed 2 years later, presumably in an attempt to pretend his...
So there's more stuff here you can read on these forums by the fantasist.
Post-history is all made up.
Talks about where he flew, how he flew there, all that sort of stuff.
The fantasist says he's 6'3" and in his late 30s in 2012. Oh, just like Ben. Ben's...
He does that. He put the video up of him doing that lick thing.
Yeah, but I like the way he's edited it. He's funny the way that he's bashing it. Like, it's funny. It is comical. So if I giggle, it's only because of the way that he says something. So I got down to the Metro pub.
How he met different things. So he's put the Russians. I never met too many Russians, to be honest. And since I've travelled to Russia, Belarus, etc., same as Bald, fair few times I decided to concentrate more on the Kyrgyz woman during my stay. However, I did spend a night with one, and it emphasised the difference between the two races. I met an attractive Russian girl in a Russian pub, Beer and took her out to a club that night where at the Kyrgyz were somewhat insecure. This girl was the complete opposite, secure in the knowledge that the Slavs were the superior race, her view, not mine. She revelled in her stature and natural beauty in the club environment. We both got drunk, danced, and then found ourselves in my bed together the same night. She was much more confident in bed too. I have little to add to the Slavic women debate, as it's all been said on this forum before by people far more eloquent and informed than me. Where to meet women, I won't give a long list of each club, just the ones where I had success. The Metro pub, this is the expat hangout in Bishkek. It is the centre in an old theatre. It's run by an English guy. Yeah, it's Sky Sports and decent food. It's a bar where a lot of women who work for NGOs and multiple national work since. So yeah, it's just telling them where to meet up and
Date
stuff.
of birth was revealed when he made international bloody headlines trespassing on an airbase, and the Russian authorities released his ID next to that of his Belarusian side chick.
So there is a girl that's
side chick
in a lot of his videos. There's a Belarusian woman that follows him a lot, and they make originally at one point they was making a lot of videos together.
Yeah, I saw one of the ones that you linked earlier where she was asleep on the plane, and he's like,
yes,
happy, like he it's very strange the way he's doing the video.
They're obviously dating and sleeping together and stuff as
In
well
cahoots.
as all this, but yeah, as well as whatever they're doing. But yeah, so you see his name is Benjamin Rich, the same as the author, and he's got his date of birth and all that sort of stuff. So his passport's there to be seen as well. Weirdly enough, his passport's in Russian as well.
That's a visa.
Oh, that his visa. Oh yeah, sorry, his visa. Yeah, I say that's a bit weird. His visa, yeah. So Benjamin Rich.
1st of July 1974, got it. Young Ben harboured dreams of photography and writing, and while he was getting published in The Spectator, the Kyrgyzstani one, he was also chatting shit in pickup forums.
So he does that, the Kyrgyzstani one. That's
it's just I'll just add this little bit here.
Yeah. So this is PUA thread about wanting to learn Russian in order to visit FSU to pick up women. So seems there are a few of us wanting to get serious with this. To those that are not native but have gotten good, mind sharing some tips and experiences in nailing it. How many hours a day you studied? How you nailed the case system? Does it eventually just click? Personally, I have come to the conclusion that I can't self-motivate very well. I need a teacher, and the possible humiliation of being the worst in the class to encourage me to nail it. Therefore, I will be enrolled in autumn course in the FSU. Maybe we could have a Russian language thread with a new word and grammar point a day for us, the community, to learn. Elena Temenikova, check out this video of her younger days. Impossible to have predicted she would develop into such an attractive woman. So,
where he discussed learning Russian so that he could go there and bang hotties. In this forum post, Vorkuta considered...
What's it say? Yes, it's true. I was offered a cottage for $100. What happens is the oldies who live in them die, and their kids who now live in the cities want nothing to do with the house they inherit. You see thousands of abandoned houses throughout the countryside there. If you spent $1,000, you get something half decent, but they have no inside toilet or central heating, and they're only cheap when far from Minsk. I have thought of buying one, doing it up and running Russian language courses out of it in the summer month, or more likely just fucking the local cold cuts girls in it.
as buying a dirt cheap house in Belarus and fucking the local farm girls in it, or as Ben puts it on camera.
I used to have a romantic image of what a Russian village was like. Of moving there, buying a little house there and setting up a life maybe in a village, just reading books, reading Chekhov for the rest of my life.
These posts discuss a memoir where the authors travelled Russia. Vorkuta gleefully quotes that the virgins will let you fuck them in exchange for a few drinks, where mothers offer their daughters to you for being a foreigner, and heading out to the shithole provinces in search of places where his white god status is maximised even more. Meanwhile, here's Ben Rich, bravely trekking off to the provinces for our viewing pleasure.
I've come down to this part of the country because I want to check out what a village looks like in Belarus. Go and have a look at what life is like there. So I'm going to go to the bus station now here in Gomel and try and find a bus out of here to some rural region and see how people are living in a village.
Vorkuta says...
Yeah, that look at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He does it every time he's thinking of something, huh? It's the tongue or the eyes. It's
whether opinions have changed, but now when I see him,
no, that's how I saw it from the beginning, man.
It's like
that's why I said I'm not interested.
He's thinking that who am I going to be banging? But she's fit.
Yeah,
and his eyes are like gaming, looking for the next girl. That's how my brain is now seeing him more.
Yeah, it's predatory, and again, it's like that in itself is not wrong.
No.
Yeah, that's natural. You like a girl, you're attracted. It's the way we are, right? Caveman, sort of, monkey, whatever. Like, but it's the acting on it and that, yeah, I mean, it's not my cup of tea. It's not who I am. It's not what I would do. I'm not judging a person on the way that they are. I'm judging on. I will only judge a person on if they harm somebody in order to get what they want. You know, in whatever fashion. You know, if somebody's out of pocket or it's been harmed in whatever way, yeah, it's something completely different. But otherwise, if it's just, ooh, I have a penis, you have a vagina, my boner indicates we are made for each other, you know? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a step too far, in my opinion, that way, but whatever.
On his next Russian trip, he intends to head to places completely off the track, to provincial seedy nightclubs full of disenchanted and hopeless girls.
Right then, exciting, right? A little rural community in Belarus. Now, there's been many foreigners come down here before. Let's check it out then. So first things first, let's go and check out this building.
See that?
God.
The editing is funny, isn't it?
It is. It's making it tolerable because without that comment is so. Oh my God, I feel sick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like now, even then, like looking at him, his eyes just—he's not looking at the place. He's looking for targets. Do you know what I mean? That's how my brain's now seeing it. I swear before, I looked at his videos and thought, oh look, he's going to these rural places and he's looking at the locations. Brilliant.
No, because you stare at locations.
Yeah, but this is very eye flick fast and almost like, who's looking at me? Who's looking at me? I'm the foreign white guy coming down here. Who's looking at me? I'm looking for you to look at me. I've got my camera out. Do you know what I mean? He's peacocking. He's like
that's a very good way of looking at it, actually. I mean, everybody who is like selfie, you're not doing that for yourself. You're doing that to show whoever, right? That's you. Fair enough. Not against this, just not me. You know. Again, but yeah, using that in that situation where you know people are going to be like, oh, he must be famous, or what's that? You know, because someone's doing something that you're not familiar with, and then when you focus, you're like, oh, it's a foreigner. As these guys have been wording it so nicely, makes them high value targets or high value people, whatever, you know. It's just concreting that. God, so slimy. I just wish you would just away from me.
Yeah. So this is an interesting bit here. So he put about people was asking about money stuff, and he put not true. I borrowed 20k on my credit cards and payday loans, and then moved house and didn't pay them back. They never caught up with me or hunted me down. I then changed my name and reapplied for the same credit cards again and opened a bank account in the same branch of HSBC that I ripped off 2 years earlier. No questions asked. I'm now just building up my credit with them before I take them to the cleaners again. Remember, it is not illegal to borrow money and refuse to pay it back. So this is all about his money deception.
Remarkably, it gets worse. The fantasist admits to changing their surname in order to commit credit card fraud. This name change admission is important because on Ben Rich's bankruptcy order, freely available online, oh look at that, 1st of July 1974, it shows he's also known as Benjamin Rich Swift.
So there you go. So he was Benjamin Rich Swift before the bankruptcy, then he became Ben Swift, and now it carries on to why that's important.
Benjamin Rich Swift appears in this Southern Daily Echo article, as in 2001 he went on trial charged with rape. Despite being found not guilty, the judge called Rich Swift and his co-accused appalling. Could this Benjamin Rich Swift... Wait, he was charged with rape. Could this Benjamin Rich Swift be Ben Rich of Bald and Bankrupt fame?
Yes.
And could Ben Rich be Vorkuta, also known as the fantasist?
That's quite funny editing on a serious subject. Or in the background,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
the backup. Wait, he was what? He was charged with rape.
Charged with rape, what? Could
So
this be Bald and Bankrupt?
like,
Yes.
no,
Did you hear the yes? Did you hear the yes as well?
Yeah.
Could this be Bald and Bankrupt? Yes. Yeah, so I'll go back.
I do like that. I do like add the 2 pence in.
Yeah.
As in 2001, he went on trial charged with rape. Despite being found not guilty, the judge called Rich Swift and his co-accused appalling. Could this Benjamin Rich Swift... Wait, he was charged with rape. Could this Benjamin Rich Swift be Ben Rich of Bald and Bankrupt fame?
Yes.
And could Ben Rich be Vorkuta, also known as the fantasist?
Did you see that Muslim chick? See the eyes? Hi! Would you like to come for a drink with me?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, him.
sometimes...
Hotties.
Where's the hotties? Everyone likes the lovely girl.
He's doing it now.
Yeah. Behind you.
Mate.
Oh, what are you? Daughter to you.
What are you doing, mate?
You're a girl. Come and talk to us. Let's talk. We can talk about
you're
the
just
Hindi
a
or
nasty
Belgian.
little cunt. So let's recap. Vorkuta, aka...
Should have it? Is that, you're just a nasty little cut. And it cuts. Yeah. So. Yeah, he changed his name as well. Any comments in them bits?
And anything for me to comment? No. Like this guy's putting it quite eloquently. You know.
Yeah, using it.
The fantasist
No, using
is
that word
6'3",
because
born in
it was
1974,
earlier on.
changed his surname, spent 4 years in India running a hotel from the south coast of England, was married and had a daughter. Oh yeah.
I have a daughter.
So yeah. He had a daughter, married, all that stuff, and then Bald and Bankrupt comes out saying he had a daughter. Lived in Brighton, the southeast of England. Yeah, he lived in Brighton as well. So, yeah.
It's very strange if you compare this sort of behaviour to what is known, the traits of a serial killer. You know what they do.
Oh, you ain't seen what he says yet about how he's
until they get caught. Then you start going, oh wait, they've been leaving notes all this time. Do they want to get caught?
He actually makes a comment about being like a serial killer. So Vorkuta actually makes a blog post about when in 2001, in his 20s, he was accused of rape.
Yep.
Benjamin Rich Swift was accused of rape. Benjamin Rich Smith changed his name to Ben Rich. Ben Rich is Bald and Bankrupt. Bald and Bankrupt was accused of rape. Vorkuta was accused of rape. That's quite... I mean, there's not many people accused of that, Lee, are they? And it, yeah. So not something I ever thought I would share, but I was accused of it in my mid-20s. Here's a story of what it's like to be accused by a woman of a heinous crime of rape. In 2000, I came out of a club. So the crime happened in 2000, and I think he was charged, or court case was 2001. In 2000, I came out of the club with 2 friends in the UK. In the UK, there was 3 of them. Validates it. There were no buses home in my town or taxis available. Leaning on my car, on the car park, was a blonde girl, mid-30s. I went over and said, if you give us a lift home, we'll pay you £20. This is also in the court case thing. The same story. I read the article separate to the video. I found the article online. Sure, she says, jump in. So at 2:30 a.m, we set off. Halfway, the girls said she needs petrol, and so we go to petrol station, fill up, and she suggests buying beers. Cool. So we set off to my place, and then the girl was up for coming in to party a little. Whatever. I just wanted my bed as I had work the next morning. We get in and sit in my lounge drinking, and I fell asleep on the sofa. I woke at 7 and noticed the girl and one of my mates is gone. The other one was asleep on the floor. I went into my bedroom to find the girl and my mate, let's call him John, awake in my bed, jump in. The girl said with a smile, well, I didn't need a second invitation, so I jumped in, and after some banter, John and I spit roasted her. It was the first time doing that, and it was all good fun, quite comical really. All this time, my other mate was asleep downstairs. After we banged her, we were lying on the bed just chatting. And she...
Vorkuta even discusses his own rape charge at the same age and in the same year as Benjamin Rich Swift. Here, 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 and here. But these little scraps still don't mean that Vorkuta, aka the fantasist, is bald and bankrupt. There really needs to be more definitive oh, look at that.
So the story not only matches up perfectly, it actually gets to the point.
Look at that.
Yeah. It needs to match up. And then it says, I have said that people whom I've all met from RV, I have formerly lasted friendship with Vorkuta, Mr. Bald.
Look, Mr. Bald, Mr. Rich, Mr. Richie Swift, or whatever you choose to call yourself. If all of this is true, I mean, it's getting really hard to deny it now, you know? This isn't me saying anything. This is just my reaction to what other people have said, right? This isn't slander. I just have one thing to ask you. Like other people in that way inclined, did you want to get caught? Or is it human nature that people just get too damn sloppy in the end?
Well, I think...
what the hell?
I just think when he was Vorkuta on the blog, he felt protected within that environment.
Anonymous,
I don't think he really knew Bald and Bankrupt was going to get so big that then everything he said could easily be dissected and brought back to these blog posts in the future. I don't think you just wouldn't think that way. You wouldn't think a fake name for Vorkuta could be traced to a name you don't even know exists yet on a popular YouTube channel, and you'll be loaded and famous. That was his goal, to make money online. It wasn't to be a YouTuber. It was to be to make money using the internet. So I don't think at that point, all this information that he's giving out on the forum, because it's a trusted forum, and he's obviously an alpha male compared to the other males, and he's trying to show it more and more with all these blog posts of what he's done and giving tips in that. I just don't think his brain was thinking, in the future, this could be traceable back to me.
Yeah.
Because in the forum, he's quite open and honest. He talks about the rape cases.
Yeah.
And again, like...
very
he's
forthcoming.
He's not... He wasn't guilty for this. He's just a horny guy that wants to bang loads of women. So it's still not a crime what he's doing. It's how you look at it. It's
not helping the world.
No,
regardless.
It's a thin line. I mean, he's got a lot of power in there, and he could be using that for
positive
greatness. But it seems like potentially he's still using it so we can get into more panties.
Yeah.
And again, it's not a crime, but it depends on the age. I still think there could be a borderline with what he would do. I don't think he's morally.
You don't think that you think he's got a line that he's drawing in the sand, do you?
Yeah, I think that line could move.
I think. Oh yeah, I mean,
If,
anybody
for instance,
who's that way inclined.
If he doesn't ask the question, he doesn't know the answer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's one thing to think it; it's another thing to think it and go to act on it and stop yourself. And then it's another thing to talk about this openly to people that are that way inclined. It's not even like I used to be an alcoholic, or I used to be a drug addict, or whatever. Like I'm sharing my bad stories with you, so you don't have to go down that road. No, it's circle jerk action, isn't it? Really, think about it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Меня зовут Bold.
Good comment.
मेरो नाम Bold.
Yeah, okay, it's him. Ben Rich, bald and bankrupt, is Vorkuta, aka the fantasist. The forum member who accidentally outed him, Tractor, is apparently this guy, a YouTuber called Irish Partisan. This is him sat next to Ben, looking like what happens when a thumb fucks a potato.
That's so harsh.
So this guy is the guy on the forum, a pickup artist guy that's trying to learn this stuff, who said he knows Vorkuta, brackets Bald. So Bald didn't say he was Vorkuta. It was this guy in the trusted circle of people that said, oh, he met Vorkuta, aka Bald. So he actually revealed the identity of Vorkuta as being Bald, aka Bald and Bankrupt identifies himself to all the people in the videos as, just call me Bald. So it links how he addressed himself to people that he met in real to the videos and the PA world, as well as 2000, a rape. The biggest thing is that it was 2000, him and 2 other guys were accused of raping a girl. Benjamin Smith was accused of raping a girl with 2 of his mates in the UK in 2000. How many rape cases could you link to that exact amount? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How are you still allowed to? I mean, all right, if you're convicted of something like that, you're not allowed to travel.
He wasn't convicted; it was completely disregarded.
Yeah,
they said what he did was disgusting.
Surely you're kept an eye on, though. Surely
there was nothing put against them. They said what they did was
the judge said, although you're not being done for it, you've behaved appallingly and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, so clearly they wanted to, why wouldn't you keep an eye on? Yeah. I mean, okay, whatever. Moving on.
So the guy looks like he's been fucked by a thumb and a potato. what a line.
Seriously.
I'm sure he would approve.
Oh, you gorgeous Irish partisan.
Let's shut again.
This is him sat next to Ben, looking like what happens when a thumb fucks a potato.
I'm sure he would approve.
Oh, you gorgeous. Oh, yeah, wink at me. Oh, you sexy little... There's a whole slew of these self-described pickup artists turned YouTubers who've leaked out of the waste pipe at the back of those forums. This is Harold Balder, not his real name. James Rodri isn't his real name either, but he used this on the Roosh V forum among other pseudonyms. That was him earlier behind Ben, screaming about hotties.
Sometimes... Hotties. Where's the hotties?
There's also this YouTuber called Tool Travels, and this guy, Connor Clyde, who at least openly markets himself somehow as some kind of dating expert.
Guys.
But my favourite is Johnny FD, desperately showcasing himself as the ultra-successful millionaire he isn't. Back when he tried to be a pickup artist called Johnny Wolf, even his fellow shitberg introducing him wouldn't shake his hand. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
So he's the guy that was with Bald and Bankrupt in Kiev, running for the trains to escape when the sirens went off. So he was the guy that he bought a property in Ukraine, was banging all the women, doing all this pickup stuff, loves the country so much, loves the people, they're the best in the world. The sirens went off and he fucked off and left them to die and took the seats of the remaining children and females. So that's this guy, Johnny FD. So he's a good man.
What's up, guys?
Hello? Well, go on then.
All right. A lot of you guys have been asking,
Are you capable of speech?
where do I live?
Oh. Ben's on...
Well, go on then.
I'm sorry.
A lot of people been
I
asking,
remember that from earlier on.
Speech?
I think that whenever I see somebody who's about to talk or is giving a speech, or it's like that, people, they give long pauses for effect, dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Come on, fucking, I'll be dead by the time this is finished. I think stuff like that in my head.
Yeah.
But it's like when you were saying that, right? Your comment before you press play.
Yeah.
I was thinking the way that this guy speaks. Really? People look at that and go, "Yeah, that just screams I have charisma." Secondly, with the amount of lack of charisma and he doesn't seem to have that much confidence. The fact that you said, he ran away. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I would probably run away from a war myself, right? I would. I'm talking about if it came to us here again. I'm not going to speak about that, but it come to us again, right? Would I want to fight? Part of me goes, I would do what I can, but in reality, I'd be scared. I'd at least think about running. I'm not ashamed to admit that. So you can't judge somebody from running away from a war, But if you know for definite, if there was kids lined up at that train waiting to get on, and they pushed them out the way and they jumped on, they were like, "Yeah, we're getting home." Yeah, that's a different situation, isn't it? But
You can see they was on that train long
It's not
before
great, is
the
it?
other people got on there as well.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a great look
No,
situation.
especially when you're
regardless,
like you've gone
whether
into that country and you're singing the praises of the people, how much you love the country and it's the best country and all this stuff.
It's a little bit backwards.
You're
in that
investing
sense.
money into it. You're banging all the women because you are this high class male. But the second that siren goes off, you desert all those people.
Bolt. Yep.
But they were nothing to you. Absolutely nothing to you. They just deserted them.
All comes out in the end, doesn't it? Really.
And that
Just
was
takes a certain thing to shed a light.
Johnny FD, that was.
Lovely. His friends are just a lovely crowd, aren't they?
Well, the pickup artists. So I think most of the pickup artists are pretty much. What's the word where you're narcissistic and narcissists, and you have one goal, and that is to just blow your load into anyone you can. And it's about
basically
the highest score.
me, self-centered.
Yeah.
Manipulative little shit, basically.
Yeah. And it's
you
just
don't care about anyone else.
being better than the guy next to you for getting the most.
That's the way it is.
So it's like, oh, I've got this bird. I'm a high value male. But you find it's the least value males that do it. Even though they may end up making money and doing stuff, they're actually.
It's camouflage, man.
Yeah, they're like.
Do you think they really think about this about themselves? Or do you think that they are actually that deluded?
They're deluded, but also insecure. But they're also the guys that, I mean, like that Johnny FD. Like, I don't care how good
there
it is.
There is clearly no confidence or
sit with him and
charisma
go,
there, man.
Mate, teach me everything you know.
No.
You're the guy I want to be. Absolutely.
I'll be like,
never in a
okay,
million
this
years.
is the first time the guy's done public speaking.
Yeah,
or he's not used to it.
I look at people
me.
like obviously Sylvester Stallone, Rambo. I'll be like, mate, teach me. He's not real, I know, but I'll be like,
yeah, I know what
me.
you mean, man. Yeah,
Teach
there's
me.
like there's something about that makes you go, okay, yeah, I can see action. Yeah.
Well, that
Teach
guy,
me,
he's read a
Osmani.
few books. He's gone online, spoke to some guys. Next minute, he's standing on stage going, "Hey, I'm going to teach you to be sexy to ladies and get ladies into bed and have sexy time." Okay, what you need to do is you fly to a poor country, yeah, and then show you got money, but you haven't really got it. But you've got money because you're now richer, because you're there. And then what you do is you just sort of do this, and then girls go, "Oh, he has money," and I go, "Yep, I got money." And then eventually they give in, and I sleep with them all. Sometimes I pay them. If you want more of my course, it's £2,000.
Yeah, I'm surprised that those sort of courses really exist. You know.
Yeah. So you think
For
the courses are made for
confidence,
but
it's
they're
sold-
made for insecure or nerds or people that are.
Oh yeah, man. Desperate people.
So what I mean by that is the people that learn that are still those people. So the people that teach it were those people. So it's nerds and insecure people teaching nerds, insecure people. The guys that are naturally really good with women, they're not taking these courses and they're not teaching them courses. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
They're living their lives. But these,
in the right way.
This is a little niche of nerds that get good, and some do
It's a
get good, like these
shortcut.
guys, and then they teach it to other nerds to get good. And that's it. It's that little
But you
niche
don't
of
get
these-
anything out of it.
Yeah.
Really.
They get money out
in
of
the
it 'cause
end.
a lot of people pay a lot of money for these courses, but
Yeah, but think about it. Like, he's now caught, right? Essentially. Because all these people, no matter what, it's kicked up a stink, and this isn't going to go away, right?
Yeah.
This will always be a dot on the file, as it were, right? A mark on the file. So, yeah, okay, people like this, they end up getting lots of money, but when they're found out, nobody's going to accept that money. Or very few. Like it gets slimmer and slimmer. The more less people want to affiliate with those sort of people. You know, yes, people need money, but that even bad guys, have some sense of moral code. You know, but with this isn't a bad guy with a moral code situation. This is a good guy, right? I say good very loosely, right? Good as in no, all right, no. This is a plain human. I shouldn't say good. This is a plain human trying to act bad, right? All it is a shortcut to okay, yeah, sleep with women that you probably wouldn't have done if you tried to do it on your own steam in the right way. Yeah, as in like respectfully, right? Or according to their traditions or whatever the oh god obstacle might be to overcome. Because yeah, all right, at the end of the day, these guys have to learn the language in order to do this, so they have to put in work in some essence, right?
Yeah.
So there is a reward, right, in that sense, right? But again, like when you're found out in that sense, all you're going to do is attract the people who are going to take from you. So you end up in a parasitic relationship with another parasite. And eventually you drain each other dry. Or you do something really, really bad that you do get caught for, and that's all she wrote. Either which way, the outcome isn't positive.
No.
All right, very few get don't get caught that get away with it, you know, but those are the ones that aren't heard of. They're not in the limelight. The fact that we are talking about this shows how much in the limelight this topic itself is.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, all right, he's from the UK as well, so it's more relatable, I guess, us talking about it than somebody from the other side of the world. But even still, like, yeah.
Online past, meanwhile, actually gets seedier, as there's another profile, this time called the Ligurian.
So the Ligurian, allow me to take you on a journey. My Belarusian buddy picked me up from my Kiev hotel at midday yesterday in his car. He invited me to stay with him in his small provincial town in southern Belarus. Being open to adventure and the cheapskate who likes to save on rent, I accepted his invitation. We pulled out onto the Chernigov highway and headed north past the suburbs of Kiev, which I spent a lot of the last month in. Every metro station we passed, Danitsa, Chernigovskaya, Levosa, brought a new memory from the last month of some young girl or other I'd met there. The road north towards the border with Belarus became emptier and emptier, and the villages poorer and poorer. Just before Chernigov, as the train started to pour down, we turned onto a rough road that was deserted except for the occasional 20-year-old Opel on Belarusian plates, and headed to a little used border post not far from Chernobyl. In an hour we saw 4 cars. Villagers sat by the side of the road selling small buckets of assorted vegetables in front of their wooded houses. We gloat at how cheap Ukraine is, but you'd be a sociopath not to feel any sympathy for the locals who are suffering. I saw a middle-aged guy during the week at Danitsa Metro sitting in front of a table selling what he could salvage from a ruined life. An old potato peeler, a shoelace, and some assorted bric-a-brac nobody would ever want or need. It was pitiful. Eventually we came to a 4-form border post, which was a collection of metal huts above which flew a Ukrainian flag. In the pouring rain, surrounded by nothing but damp forest and fields, it seemed a bleak outpost for a border guard to be stationed. A young guard looked in and took our passports. He returned with a smile and wished me a belated happy birthday and raised the barrier. We drove up over a bridge that crossed the Dnieper, which here is wide and slow, meandering between fields of damp grass. We passed no man's land before coming to stop at the Belarus customs post. An attractive female guard with a friendly disposition handed me an immigration card as I entered the hut. I'd never seen someone of your nationality pass through here before, she cheerfully said. It filled me with the immediate happiness and hope.
Ligurian isn't a prolific commentator as Vorkuta, though some...
We completed the immigration procedures and drove on to the inspection yard. A guard in a huge brimmed cap ordered us to open the boot of the car. He searched around in the spare wheelbase for contraband, alcohol, cigarettes, sex slaves. He closed the boot and I said, "Would you like me to open my bag and show you the contents?" pointing to my bag on the back seat. "If I want to look in your bag, I'll do it without your permission," he replied aggressively. By the time I realised that he'd been rude, he had walked off. I let out a pizdets under my breath, barely loud enough for him to catch. He turned and looked at me, but carried on walking to his metal hut. It was a minor victory against Belarusian rudeness, but a hollow one. We sped on to Belarus through villages and towns not seen by outsiders. Hoiniki, Rechitsa, towns that people with sense escaped from years ago. Houses were collapsed, windows in apartments blocked were replaced by plastic sheeting. People in adult clothes shuffled along to do whatever. It was they did in their backwaters. None of the buildings except government ones had air conditioning units outside. People here don't have the money for such luxuries. There were young, attractive women on the streets, but they dressed like they were from another time. Purple nylon shirts or fantastical patterns and denim jeans that were of the colour and style not seen in the West for a few decades. Hair and makeup was also of another period. Think 70s German porn and you get the picture. We stopped in one town for some fresh air and to stretch our legs. People walked past without the slightest hint of happiness. In a cafe, an attractive young mum stared gloomily into the distance as her child ate ice cream beside her. She looked on to the brink of tears. Life here is hard. The economy out here has collapsed and people are being paid in the goods they produce in the factories that employ them, soap, salt, meat and wire.
Something about the Ligurian's prose is eerily familiar. Ben has a sideline as a self-published author. He wrote a book under the pen name Arthur Chichester. Just a sanitised version of his pick-up artist forum posts, according to this review. A reference to the striking similarities between Ben's book and the Ligurian's posts. The Ligurian says he's met two girls so young, he needs to find out their ages first.
So Ligurian is the third name. So you got the fantasist, the Ligurian, and Vortutek, what his name was. So yeah, he wrote a book, and in the book, this is where you see the articles from the book and the blog posts, whereas a young Siberian slut, he talks about, he has to find out their age before he does anything because they look borderline. We sat together at the back of the bus, our legs and shoulders rubbing together as we went around corners, my penis slowly filling with blood as they played their favourite songs on their phone. It was all pop drivel I pretended to like. I deliberately didn't ask them their ages as I was already imagining fucking them both and having them come swap, and I feared that if they told me I'd have to abandon the idea. They both had tits and hips, but they had a childishness to them that confused me.
Yeah, this is the part where I turn it off.
It's a weird... I mean, that's in his book, apparently. That's in the book. That's the blog post, sorry. But that's just... It's quite a...
We've skipped over one thing to talk about already. Yeah? Which was the fact that he starts off by saying you'd have to be a sociopath to not feel for anything for these people, right? And then he's talking as though he's slating the country, just like the Indian one, right? Just everything is negative. And I had a bit of hope. Like, hope for what? Obviously, we know what it is, but it's like you're not thinking, oh, poor people, you know, life is hard. Like, it's almost like he's saying it with a smile, the way that it's worded. Not only that, but he's now this thing where I turn it off is because it sounded like he was writing porn for Jimmy Savile's crowd. Yeah, so I had to turn it off because I was like, okay, too much on one short go. Yeah, man, it's like, no. This is where we're talking about. You think about it, and then you can ponder it, right? And then go, oh my god, what was I thinking? I actually feel sick with myself. And then there's going further and then further. This is, I've done it, and I know what's going to happen. Ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
in a
in this bit, I
non-comedic
walked
way.
towards them, mentally trying to guess their ages. I don't know the age of consent in Belarus, but guess they were not much above it.
Ligurian's posts. The Ligurian says he's met 2 girls so young, he needs to find out their ages first. He talks about his penis becoming engorged as he sits next to them on a bus and imagines them performing a sex act for him. He refers to one of them, Katya, as a slut, and brags that he got physical with her when they went swimming. The fantasy is over when he confirms she is 16, a child. Here's Ben reading a chapter from his book. He's saying goodbye to a single mother called Katya.
Katya put her hands on my waist and leaned in to kiss me. A silence filled the closed space between us. Katya, listen, I understand, she said, cutting me off before I could finish, embarrassed that she had misread the signals. I would not be her ticket out of the provinces. There was a brief silence. Will I see you again before you leave town? She asked, no doubt already knowing the answer. Maybe, I lied. She turned and pressed the magnetic key into the slot before disappearing into the darkness of the vestibule, the clunky steel door slowly closing with a metallic thud behind her. I turned and walked back to the hotel along cracked pavements.
In another thread...
Do you know what I mean, Lee?
Yeah.
Like, it's like word for word in the book that's in the forum posts.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone past the point of coincidence, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean they were 16, so they're legal over there.
We're at the point now where we're sharpening our steel.
Yeah. So what I couldn't quite work out is obviously it's written in not his real name. It's written as a pseudonym, so there's obviously that reason, probably for another reason. So the person on the forum post said he didn't know their ages, but it turned out they were 16, so he did it with them because it's legal. So that is the same person as this guy. And then his book, as a fake character, Arthur Chichester it was, tells the same story as the Ligurian told.
Yeah, but when he was reciting something he's obviously written, right? It wasn't it's not like a love poem, right? It was almost like a man's version of Twilight, which is a woman's softcore attempt at werewolves and vampires. If it was a Harry Potter she was inspired by and wanted to do a werewolf and vampire, and then it turned into softcore porn, and then a story. So like it's very weird the way that it's written and being read. It's again like I get the feeling he's reliving a moment.
Yeah.
Which anyone would do if it's written about a specific moment, but it's not a great thing. It's none of it's good.
No,
and it's not getting any better.
No, it's not.
Ligurian is driving through the countryside where he picks up a female hitchhiker. Once in his car and together alone in the middle of nowhere, he proposes she perform a sex act on him, which she reluctantly does for $6. Everything I've learned has come from the Bald and Border dossier on Reddit. These poor sods have been screaming about Ben for nearly 3 years, but so much against him is buried in a sea of anonymous forum posts that this has given Ben a confidence that he embraces hard. In posts from Ben's personal Instagram, he jokes about being a pickup artist. In another, he's bragged that he's been a sex pest for decades. And in this shameless post, Ben Rich, once charged with rape, jokes about using a date rape drug. But most brazen of all, only a year ago, Ben in a Q&A talked about internet trolls. Without knowing about his disturbing past, it would be easy to find this reply from Ben rather innocent. But knowing now what's been revealed, just see how he answers this question. What's more, watch what he cuts to.
How do you deal with it when people are like saying terrible things about you? When people are saying terrible things about you, when people are making up lies about you, they're slandering your name. So how do you deal with that? And I suppose every YouTuber has their own techniques to cope with that mentally. But for me, like embrace it, love it, and amplify it. When someone says, like, you're the biggest wanker in the world, you say, that's right, mate, bigger than you'll ever know. Even worse than you think I am. What are you going to do about it? Simple.
Хотите говорить с моими подписками? Говори что-то. Не стесняйтесь, все хорошо.
Wow, we found some shy girls here in Uzbekistan. Как вас зовут? Ну хорошо, но очень приятно тогда, не мешай.
This is a man hiding in plain... Oh, not that one. This is a man hiding in plain sight.
Oh my god!
But
I really like this guy. Whoever he is, I love the way that he's.
I don't know who he is. He's only got
Put it
193
together.
subscribers. A saucer full of Umar Gumma secrets is his name.
Oh my god, my secrets. He's like, oh my god, my secrets.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
No.
Oh my god, my secrets. Oh my god, my secrets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. It's all very. He's ripping them to bits. Or he's ripping him to bits, but it's very funny and it's done very well. It's cut very well as well.
But
very well edited.
The thing is that when you watch
Well
the
done,
Jimmy
mate.
Savile
Just for
trial
that.
things on the videos, when they question him about all this stuff, he
Yeah.
would reply openly with it. So he'd say like, I love my women. What's wrong with that? And he was really open and like, really boastful about that sort of thing. And a bit like him, I'm the biggest wanker in the world. What can you do about it?
Yeah.
That's an honest answer. You know,
Yeah.
a good person that gets negative contact, like comments on their videos would never go, yeah, I'm the biggest wanker in the world. So what? He wouldn't. He'd go, look, I just try to be a good guy, and some people don't like it. That's fine. He says, but I'm a good guy. I'm not a wanker. I don't want to be this big thing. They would defend it a little bit, but he's got this complete arrogance. Like I'm a big wanker. So what? What can you do about it? And you can see that in him. He's got that cocky.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, even people when they are like that, they're doing that because they're pissed off. So yeah, I am. Yeah, but there's some, like, I don't want to say violence, but there's some sense of aggression. Like, you back me into a corner, you know, fuck you. All right, fine. You want to say it? I'll say it. It's not true, but everyone's saying it. It doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? It's out of frustration. That's the word I was looking for. It's out of frustration rather than big smile on my face. Yeah, oh, wanker. Yeah.
Gloating and
Yeah, I
unrepentant,
agree.
who only thinks about number one. As a former fan, I feel conned. Because I used to love Ben's channel. Some of his material, like his obvious on-camera charity and giving alcohol to alcoholics, felt a little on the nose. But I still enjoyed watching him explore parts of the world we never normally get to see, and being gracious about the people there. But now it's clear his whole channel is an excuse to travel to poor regions practicing game so he can lure women into bed.
Back in the game.
This is a man who refers to his ex.
Marriages can work if you can sustain the sexual chemistry and excitement. I can't be turned on by the same pussy for a year after year, and hence will always search out new conquests. The fact is, when I first met my wife, I would have eaten soup out of her fanny, but after 5 years, I wouldn't even have kicked the thing without a shoe on my foot. Yeah.
Ex-wife is a thing he wouldn't kick barefoot, all because 5 years of marriage has passed.
Like Casanova.
A man who, following
My two co-accused never really recovered from the experience mentally. One left the area forever because he felt people were judging him and the stigma of being accused as a rapist, lost contact with everyone, and the other became a born-again Christian and went off to Africa to do missionary work for a couple of years. You'd think we'd be really close friends for life because of our shared experience, but the reality is we are not in contact. Not sure why. I went to China to teach English, had a blast over there, and never really gave the episode much thought after that.
You know, there was 3 of them, right? One was asleep downstairs. You know which one became a missionary, don't you?
Well, the other one who banged.
Yeah. That would sound like a normal, everyday reality of somebody who's done something and wants to make up for their sins.
Yeah.
And the other one who had nothing to do with it, is been accused of something they hadn't done, of course they're going to be nervous, and all the time they're going to think people are thinking that.
Yeah.
Because you've been thrown in this situation. It sounds kind of very, or the other way around. You know you've done something wrong. You're constantly looking over your shoulder. And the other one, after learning what his friends or supposed friends would do or could do, he's like, no, there is evil in this world, and he became a missionary. Either which way, it doesn't look good.
It'd be interesting to know if the other two still speak to each other, because if they do, but they're not speaking to him, then there's more to it. But he says he would never bang an English woman again. He only bangs foreigners because of this. When I bang an English girl in a one-night stand, I spend the next few days worrying that she might accuse me, so he just focuses on foreign girls.
I wonder it's because they speak another language, therefore. Although if you're in their country, if somebody's shouting rape in that language, it's the same as being in England and an English woman is shouting rape. A woman shouting, that's why it doesn't make sense. Why would you go to another country because you're worried about a woman shouting rape? If you're worried that a woman's going to shout rape, you're going to worry that a woman's going to shout rape, regardless wherever you are.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not something that you want coming up, is it?
No.
Whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
His rape trial says he doesn't trust English women, hence I travel a lot for my bangs. This seems like a relevant point to end on. In 2012, Ben Rich asks his forum buddies where they hope to be in 10 years' time. By June 2022, he says he'll own an apartment in Eastern Europe. Ben now lives in Prague. He'll have travelled through Europe and his Russian will have improved. Yep, well done. He's got his book on Amazon, so there we go. He'll have dynamic and successful friends. And he'll find a way to make money via the internet that allows him to travel for much of the year. I have to give him credit here, even if his channel was apparently Harold Balder's idea. And it's money for old rope too. Creating this bloody video has been a nightmare, while all Ben does is wander down the street for 20 minutes, barely edit it, and bingo, job done. It's an untapped reservoir of lazy content, and he doesn't even prepare for it.
How much research do you do?
0. It's actually pretty impressive that he and his pals have made a living while they travel. And in Ben's case, he does it minimally, in a way that he sells as no fancy editing or bullshit, when in reality, he's just lazy. Here's one last 10-year objective from Ben. I will have steadily improved my game and be sleeping with women of better quality than now, including banging a couple of genuine 10s. There's nothing wrong with being single and enjoying life, but then there's being manipulative and sociopathic. What's more, anyone who watches Ben Rich's videos isn't watching a cheerful traveller visiting remote places for the love of it. They're watching a predator, constantly on the lookout for women and girls to use for their own gratification. And his viewers are helping him.
Yeah, he kind of finishes on the comment that we started off with, really, and have had throughout until a certain point where the load just tipped too much in the opposite end of the scales. You know, it's like we go back and forth. We don't know. We don't know. We oh, you know what? Fuck it. Just let it topple. I'm not even concentrating anymore.
It's quite compelling information, isn't it? And we've not even touched the surface. There's loads more videos.
Yeah.
And I've got the article links as well to go through as well.
It begs the question: are these people created, or is it something that, i.e., like, are they groomed, like, from one person to another? You know, in that sense of it's taught, or is it like they're born in a certain way to a certain predisposition, and then they meet these people, and then it's guaranteed that they're these sort of people. So, you know, that old, is it nature versus nurture question, you know, very, very much like serial killers, that keeps coming up, because he's very open about himself in that post in a cryptic way that he's a sociopath. by starting off by saying you'd have to be a sociopath to not feel any empathy. Oh, they worship dung. They're nothing but shitholes and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. You really show empathy and, you feel something, don't you? Clearly not.
Yeah.
You say one thing and then do the opposite fashion. It's like, either you are or you're not, man.
Yeah.
But still.
It's like whether we have to do a
Knives are sharpened.
part 2 of this or not, just to finish it off. Went through quite a
I'm
bit.
going to need something stronger than a few mouthfuls of beer.
Yeah. But
because it's not going to get any better, is it?
It's just madness how you see something, you click a link, and it opens up this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday, I was like, Born and Bankrupt, I love his content. That's what I want to be like. Doing videos like that, making money for YouTube, traveling.
Yeah, but you were saying that to the idea of what you saw, what you was taking. And now that you see, you felt something, and then you saw the person who's doing that, obviously it's going to make you feel shitty anyway, let alone...
Yeah.
I aspire to do something like that. Oh shit! A person that I said that I aspire to be like turns out to be, at the very least, a sex pest. Because sex pest is kind of a childish sort of like playground way of saying, "Oh, we love sex." You just can't get him to stop. Like, get off! We're trying to sleep, silly boy. It has sort of some carry onness to it,
I mean, would it be better if he had done this show he was doing, but had been open with it and gone, just been honest, said, well, he does it in some videos, like he says, we're the ladies, but be more honest with it. It says, guys, I'll be honest with you, I'm a single guy, I meet many girls, and I like girls, so it's all consensual. I talk to them, we do stuff, says, but I just love women, and I don't want to settle down. I've been married, I never want that again. Would that not have been better? Because if you release a video like that straight up front, all these questions would be like gone.
Years, something.
If he openly says, look, he goes, look, I sleep with those women. No shame in that. I'm single. I was married. Don't want to be married again. I just want to enjoy different women. They're open to it. I'm open to it. No one's hurt.
Means show some humility.
Yeah. Maybe that would be the better way forward of him doing it. And then...
Maybe
with the money he's made, put it into something
PR
as well. Because it's almost like the YouTube viewers are paying for him to bang vulnerable women.
That's the way it certainly appears, anyway.
Yeah. So I think that's where it feels a bit dirty. Now, when I see the videos, I feel dirty.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm learning or seeing stuff anymore. I feel like I'm just part of the sex trade.
You feel like you've been corrupted in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before it was like, oh look, we're seeing these parts of Russia which are really hard to see.
Yeah.
Which is why I went to Chernobyl and I wanted to see more places, but he's just made the entire part of it now. With all this stuff, just makes the whole thing just feel sleazy now and dirty.
Yeah.
So now it's even
and
like
it gives people that do that in the right way a bad name.
So now it just So if we was in Russia and we went there and the girl spoke to us now, I already feel dirty now.
Yeah.
I mean, before it'd be like, "Oh, nice to meet you," like in Brazil. "Hi, how you doing?" No intentions, but now it instantly feels.
Well, it happened, didn't it? And even before, like you were saying, like you've had people when you've gone to, like when you went to Ukraine, you said there were men like, "Oh, you're just here to fuck our women."
That was Canada.
It's like, oh, Canada. Oh, well, there you are. And Canada's is well known to be very, very open and very happy. And oh no, we can't be impolite.
No, it's the Canadians. It's Canada said
British, but actually polite rather than stiff upper lip. Yes, what?
Canada was the worst place I've been to for customs. The country and people were lovely, but the customs were the worst. They pulled us aside. They interviewed us. They emptied everything we had. Interrogated us, and then let us go.
Yeah, So it must have been a reason. I mean, apart from being checked when we left the country, that happens wherever I go. I'm always, they just love touching me. But no, it's like on the way back, even like the guards, every guard was asking questions. Don, you're attracting the wrong kind of, the wrong sort of crowd here. But no, like just comments, you know. But even still, like, yeah, it just gives people the wrong reason for the wrong things. Like they start thinking, oh, everyone's like that, and then you end up getting these blanket statements, and then it doesn't help anyone. All you're doing is damaging the bridges and the bedrock between us. Stop separating us. But yeah, I mean, we can continue this another time if you delve deeper down this rabbit hole.
Well, I've got 7 more videos, and then
we're gonna have
pages
to
of Google I've
revisit
not even
this.
opened yet, as well as 2 forum posts, a Reddit post. As Bald ever spoke about allegations made against him, there's a huge forum post, and I've got one here called 2 Versions of the Same Story by Bald and Bankrupt. So this one is where they take the blog posts, the forum posts, and then the text from the book, then they put them together, and you'll see what he writes in the forum and what he's putting in the book.
Sort of thing.
How they're word for word almost. A bit like that one video you showed a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
but this breaks down further into the book. And it shows you like he wrote this, and the author wrote that. The forum post by Robert was that.
Sorry. Yeah.
The forum entry dates the event as taking place in June 2015. Bald and Bankrupt would have been a few days short of his 41st birthday then. So yeah, we've got those links as well to go through.
If we do revisit this, it might be a good. I mean, if it does, when he talks about it, or if he goes to a different country, continuing or whatever, to see where it goes, and revisit it then. You know, when there is something more, rather than just people reacting to somebody who's shut themselves down for whatever reason. You know. I.e., everyone's jumping on the dog pile right now. It's like, yeah, fair enough. It's a hot topic, but revisit it when more's come out, because you might go, oh, actually, we were totally wrong. We're only human, but you know, even still, yeah. Almost 4 hours though. I was surprised you're still awake at this hour.
I can feel it dipping there. So
5 to 1, yeah. I'm not surprised that you feel it dipping, but I am surprised that your eyes are still wide awake.
Yeah, it's that bright light. Yeah, so guys, there's going to be a part 2 where we go through the last parts of it all. Maybe by then you'll have a video out as well.
Yeah, some sense of
just have a video actually
defense.
answering all this stuff about him, not doing the cocky answers like "yeah, I'm a wanker, so what" and all this stuff.
Where's
That's
the
not
human?
helping.
Yeah.
Answer as a real person. And if you are there just to bang women, be honest, because then it takes away the sex weirdness of it all. Like,
The predatory behavior.
Predatory behavior, yeah. Like
Have some vulnerability. You're human.
Yeah.
Even rich guys are paranoid over something. They're vulnerable. We're all human. We're all vulnerable over something.
So yeah. Thank you for joining me, Lily.
I would say thank you for having me, but this has been rather weird and an up and down, a very roller coaster. No, thanks for having me. But no, it has been quite. Laugh. Now I'm going to drag you down deeper. Laugh. It's all good. It's all funny, guys. I'm serious.
Back down the hole, back out.
It's like school again. Yeah,
But
next time we'll bring the
time we'll
Mad
finish
Hatter and
off.
some tea.
We'll go through the rest of the last bits, some more opinion pieces from other people on YouTube, reactions, and then we'll go into the forums. And hopefully by then he's released some of his own stuff and we can conclude a little bit. But that's the power of the internet now, and Google and YouTube and forums and information, and The rabbit hole effect. I mean, open next tab and God.
Well, yeah.
it's
Don't read
wild.
any more tonight, man. Get some sleep,
Oh,
because
yeah, I'm gonna sit with my brains hurting.
yeah, not only that, but like, I don't want to be dreaming about this sort of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Don't be even thinking about this sort of stuff, really.
So if
Too
you liked
often.
and you're watching it on a later date, please like, subscribe. It's probably on YouTube only for that bit, because as soon as I finish this, Twitch will finish. I don't think it stores it. But it'll also be going up on the Donny Utton show. We'll be uploading that to one of our episodes. We have a podcast where we talk different stuff. We're currently on episode 9. This will be coming up in the near future. So, yes, check out Lily. Check out Donny Utton. You got Donny Utton Music, and the Donny Utton Show. Thanks for watching. Leave us your comments, what you think about the situation, and we'll speak soon.
None of it's good.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams.
All the dreams.
Oh.